Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is, yes, howdy, y'all. Considerable Bulk here, doing something incredibly different. Could not be more different if we tried, frankly, and we do try very, very hard. Joining me tonight on our very first Considerable Conversations podcasts live to your cerebellum are Team Considerable's Harpalarp. Would you like to say hello?
Hello everyone, how goes it?
And Team Considerable Petulant Panda. Would you like to say hello?
What's up guys?
Unfortunately, we're not joined tonight by our favourite pal and buddy, Team Considerable Iraklis. He is, his image and visage is there. The risk to having Iraklis' face broadcast live is manifold, especially to the amount of pregnancies we'll cause just by having his visage on the airwaves. Ramming down the internet, Iraklis' beautiful mug. Yes, he'll make people pregnant just by being here, talking as he does. Now, just a quick check in the chat. Can you please confirm our sound levels are okay? Is the music in the background too loud? What about the...
Said me and Panda are a little bit too quiet.
Yeah, or are Panda and Harpalarp a little bit too quiet? Alright, what I'll do is I'll turn my microphone down to match yours. How about that? And then turn the music down a little bit to match that too. So, is that any better? Do I sound quieter compared to the other two now?
Yeah, how do we sound?
It would help if you said something for them to gauge the level of volume from.
We need upping a lot. I'm the quietest, right?
Panda and Harps needs upping a lot. Pandas is the quietest. I didn't realise there was music. Well, turn that up then. Can you hear any music now? Way too quiet? Who's too quiet? Both are less? We love to iron out all of our technical kinks before... Oh, I know. I can turn off my auxiliary mic. That might help. Wait a second. I haven't turned on my auxiliary mic. Please, chat, tell me if I am louder now or if I'm exactly the same when I do this. Perfect now. Perfect. Now up Panda and Harps. Maybe turn the music down a little. Okay, there we go. Well, this is the feedback we need. This is why we choose you as our discerning audience. You guys know your onions. I'm eating chicken.
Sure do know onions.
They're quiet because they're not saying much. But what we'll probably do is ask them to...
We are both still quite quiet.
Yeah, we'll ask them to scream at their laptops while we're going through the questions. How does that sound to everybody? This is why this is a pilot. All right, well, I think that... Have you guys maxed all the settings you can max? Because on your...
My mic is maxed in Zoom.
Right, let me see if... Yeah, okay, cancel. All right. Yeah, there's nothing I can do to up your various volumes because the capture is not a mic capture. Okay. All right. So a few hellos. Welcome to MK Tommy Tricks, the Wailing Man, Danny Sadiq. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Oh, hang on. Get the activity feed out of the way. Get out of my face there. Hunter774, one of our favourites. Tarkamus, he can't hear anything. That's nice. Milko Milkstar, good to see you. Deadborg, good to see you as well. Mounty789, Robocop of the Midlands, up there. Yes. The long arm of the law.
I've put the gain up on the mic. Am I louder now? Is it all good?
Just Tommy is fine. Okay, Tommy. Right. Epic Gittins is in the chat. One of Team Considerable's absolute finest. Considerable Bulk, by the way, is this Discord? No, it's not. It's not. We're using Zoom because it's the closest thing that I could find that rhymed with boom. Now, speaking of boomings, the list of questions. We do have some questions. The general theme of the evening is, I believe, we were talking about the future of the state of the game at the moment, and where are we going? Where do we feel we'd like to see NetherRealm Studios take their franchises in the near future? Is that about right?
Yep.
Good, because I haven't got the list of questions in front of me.
You should have written a script.
Well, because I'm boomering away. I've got the chat on my phone, which means I can't pull up the questions.
I can't believe you couldn't work out how to get that up on your laptop, but me and Harps played that.
I need to be able to get the chat on the laptop. There we go.
Yeah.
So, Harplarp, would you please ask us the first question?
The first question, I hope I'm not too quiet, is what do you want? It's a nice, easy question. What do you want in Kombat Pack 3? Something everyone has an opinion of, I'm sure.
Okay,
Smoke. That's me done.
what? Smoke. Panda just wants smoke. He wants a one-character DLC, no stages, no new mechanics, nothing like that. He no balanced patch, no balance changes at all. He just wants smoke. That's all. Okay.
No story, no Jackie or Cinder.
Can you either swap to Discord or see if there's an option on Zoom to make the sound to speaker? This is where we lose everybody, isn't it? Switch to phone audio, leave computer
That's
audio,
actually quite clever how you've done that, Bob.
audio settings. Oh, hang on a minute. How about if I just put, like, output level? Is that any better?
Right, now can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Okay, let me turn that back on, right? Can you hear us? Yeah,
They can legit hear you now.
yeah. Right, that sounds better, yeah.
Yeah,
I think you said
leave it. Right, don't touch
Jesus,
it.
you didn't have the volume on your Zoom. Do you know what we've been through? Me and Harps were sat here trying to get Bulk to figure out how to make this work, and he literally had everything set up wrong. And he was asking us questions, but he couldn't hear us answering. And yeah, it's been a bit of a palaver, to be fair, but we got there in the end.
I can see him laughing, but I can't hear him. Oh, now I can.
Now you can hear me. Now you can hear me. Okay.
Oh,
Alright,
man, that scared me then.
switch back to
God.
there. Okay.
So, I'll read the question again, shall I?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So, here's the question. What do you want in Kombat Pack 3?
Smoke, Bulk, go.
I would like if Combat Pack 3. How many characters do you think that is? Because Combat
5.
Pack
I'm going to say 5.
5 characters. That's a good bet because Pack 1 had like 74 characters in it, and then Combat Pack 2 came out with 1.5.
Wasn't there... Didn't they...
633.
Didn't they data mine that there was 5 empty slots or something like that?
I think so, yeah. There's been a lot of rumours knocking about that there's still 5 empty slots. MKX, when it came out, had 8 slots built in and obviously ended up with 8 DLC characters.
5 empty slots.
MK11 apparently still has 5 empty slots, so...
5
Alright, let's say
empty
5
slots
then.
happens to be the reason why Heracles isn't here tonight. He caught a rumour. But he didn't realise he was trying to read he was reading the Combat Pack 3 questions. So I reckon I would like to see the 3 ninjas, Smoke, Sector, and Cyrax. The original robots of them, not the human forms.
Yeah, the only 2 robots worth mentioning, really, in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
We need human Smoke, not robot Smoke. I will fight you over this.
That would be tribal. Yeah.
Robot Sector and Cyrax, yeah, I can get behind, because I'd rather, if they had to make a choice between one, I'd rather Cyrax as well. I think he's a bit more interested in the Sector.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to add Smoke, you've got to make it human Smoke, because he's just 10 times better than robot Smoke. Cyborg.
Yeah, he's one of the male ninjas. You wouldn't want a robot noob cyber, would you?
Exactly.
You wouldn't want a robot Sub-Zero.
So
I tried using Cyber Sub-Zero, and he doesn't exist to me.
Cyber Sub-Zero was really fun in MKX.
He was a great character.
I'm sure he is if you're godlike like you.
His best, from memory, his best mid was his neutral jump punch.
It truly was.
That long ice spike.
Oh.
Stop jumping. It's my best mid, bro. It's my
Danny
best
Sadiq
mid.
saying classic ninjas with classic skins perhaps. Obviously. I mean, Zlee. I want... well, Bulk hasn't finished his. I'll let him finish his.
No, we're just. I was happy to talk about Cyber Sub. I liked.
You derailed him.
I liked Triborg.
Gone off on a segue.
Yeah, I liked the idea of Triborg, and I thought in MKX, Triborg was a very successful character. But I prefer Sector and Cyrax as the robots, and that's where my nostalgia is.
Yeah, 100% agree.
I agree, yeah. I
mean, Triborg, it was a great idea and a great use of the variation system in MKX. Even the variationless being like you got 4 variations out of it with Cyber Sub, but I wouldn't want to see him repeated because it suited that variation system perfectly. I don't even think it would work that well with MK11's variation system because I don't think that is as good as MKX's, but that's a different story. The characters, like you just said, need to be separate entities in their own right.
Yeah, I think it was a good way of trying to appease as many people as possible. It was a smart use of the limited roster slots that they had, but I just totally agree. If we get Smoke again, he's got to be human Smoke, because he's got to be just a human male ninja. You know, we need all of them in the same game again. I don't think we've seen them all since Armageddon, and of course Sector and Cyrax got to be the robot versions. So I agree. Actually, I'd like to see Sector, Cyrax, Smoke. I love Smoke. I would probably try him and not really use him that much, but I want Smoke in the game mostly on Panda's behalf. Because
yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, Panda's basically been in a character crisis since the game came out. Because they didn't put any of his favorite characters from MKX. None of them made it to MK11. So that's why he's like Jax and Kotal and, well, half the cast.
Jax was like my 8th favourite character, and he was the first one. The previous 7 didn't get in. So I was like, I'll play Jax then. And then Melina got in, and I don't really get on well with Melina. She's not bad. I've been playing her again recently, but she was like my 3rd favourite MK character. But yeah, I need my boy Smoke.
Yeah. So it's kind of like me with Noob Saibot then, because I wanted him in MKX so much, and obviously he wasn't in it. So when I saw that he was coming to MK11, I was like, oh yes, it's gonna be amazing. And he's in it, and he's good, but I'm like, I don't really use him much. I don't really find him that fun to play. So there is always that.
I'm worried that will happen with Smoke, to be honest.
Yeah,
because a lot of the characters in MK11 seem to be not watered down, but they are at the end of the day. They seem like watered down versions of their own characters.
Like
look at Bulk.
They're shadows of their former selves. Yes, I mean they
everything's watered down from MKX though, because MKX was just
it was just full on crackhead offense, wasn't it? But
yeah, because
I remember hearing
MK11's not.
When they said running was going to be taken away from the game in MK11, I was like, what? I love running. And then I started playing the game, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. In this kind of game, running would just be broken.
Oh, that's a good shout. That'll be my 4th, I think. So what did I say? I said Smoke, Sector, and Cyrax, and I would, if we need 2 more, Ferrator.
Ferrator's a good shout. He's a very underrated character.
Yeah, just having the mechanic of doing something like harming yourself to get a damage buff. That mechanic itself having armor.
Doesn't Scarlet do that? Does Scarlet do that?
She's
too busy. Did she not harm us? No,
didn't Kotal do that when he?
No,
didn't Kotal cut himself?
Kotal used to do that as well. Yeah, he used to cut himself and get the blood buff.
Cut himself for 5%, and then he'd get an insane damage buff after that. But the fact that you could stack Ferrators over and use it as a cancel in your pressure, watching an excellent Ferrator was just great to watch because it's just super high. It can't be fun to play against because you don't want to ever get hit. But just watching, I think Biohazard was my favourite Ferrator player watching back in the day. But then watching not so great Ferritor players kill themselves with the final buff, because that's all they know to do is to stab themselves.
That thing with Kotal had a brutality on that, didn't he? He had like a Harakiri brutality. If you did the blood buff, it didn't have the health, he brutality'd himself.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That was a great mechanic.
I'm not too...
Me and Harps had a good what was it, Test Your Luck we done with Ferritor, wasn't it? That was amazing, wasn't it?
We did a because you can't do custom combat online. It has to be Test Your Luck, doesn't it? No, did
Test
now
Your
I'm
Luck.
confused.
I think it was Test Your Luck, but
because custom combat I think can only be done offline. We did Test Your Luck, and it was low gravity, and we were both Ferritors, so it was just down two with all the low gravity. I think conceptually Ferritor is just an incredibly interesting character because it's two characters, and I know Noob Saibot kind of is as well, but this is different because Tor just
like
launches
symbiotic characters.
Yeah, he's like I'm just gonna throw you at my team at the other person, and then of course you can't do whatever moves she has until she gets back on him. But I guess she was. I guess they were just underutilized, and of course they had to just put Jackie in the game, didn't they? So we missed out on Ferritor.
If there was only 5 slots though, and we agreed that 3 have been taken by Sector, Cyrex, and Smoke, would you really want one of those last 2 slots to go to Ferritor?
Yes.
Over like Reptile or Ermac or
No. I would like Ferritor in, but on a personal basis, I would like Ferritor in.
Okay, I can respect that. I can see where you're coming from. I just don't know. And like characters like Takeda and Kenshi, I don't think I could warrant putting Ferritor. I mean, it's a shame that they weren't base roster, to be honest.
I think what you're saying now is probably why Ferritor is not an MK11.
Yeah.
Because most people are like, but I'd rather have this character.
Yeah, it's a cool character, but it's a cool character, but unless you bulk.
I love Ermac and Reptile, of course, because they're classic ninjas, but I don't love them enough to really care to use them. So I'd like to see them come back because everyone wants them back. And I mean, if there's a way that we could get all the male ninjas back in the game, then yeah, I'd want them back. Smoke, Ermac, Reptile, and Chameleon are the only ones missing, right?
Tarkamus has just cancelled me for not
Tremor,
choosing
of course,
Reptile.
yeah. So even if we had Ermac and Reptile and Smoke, there'd still be some missing. So I say either have them all or don't. So I got an idea. Why not just have Rain? No, we already got Rain. Ermac, Reptile, Smoke, Tremor, and Cyrax. There you go. Done.
That's your 5 for Combat Pack 3, is it?
Ermac, Reptile, Smoke, Cyrax,
Jokingly,
Sector.
it is. Yeah. I mean, if I'm being deadly serious, it's got to be Sector and Cyrax, both of them, and Smoke. Probably Takeda, because I really did like Takeda in MKX. I used him a little bit. And then for the final one, I mean, if we're going crazy here, I would say Motaro, because I really want proper Motaro to come back to Mortal Kombat. None of this 2-legged rubbish.
Heracles would love that if he was there. Oh, he is here.
Yeah,
He's in the chat. What's up, Heracles?
What's up?
Heracles, you deserter.
Yeah, see, there he is, Motaro, yes.
Yes.
Why isn't he in the call? Get him in. Look at his beautiful profile picture.
If people are happy to take a break after question 1, I can get Heracles in on the Zoom chat.
I'll go for it, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy
Have a little
to
intermission. I can grab myself some more popcorn because I've been
hang on.
picking away at that.
Heracles, please confirm. I see myself in the screen down left. There you go. Heracles, can you get on Zoom, if we put a 3-minute break in, can you get on the Zoom call and we can add your video or your screen in there?
I like the way Heracles is saying, I see myself in the screen down left. That's me. There's clearly a photograph of Heracles with a little photograph of Heracles on his shoulder.
So my 5th character for Combat Pack 3 would be brand new to the franchise Mortal Kombat character.
What would the concept be? Have you got a rough idea, or do you just want a new character? Because remember the new characters that got added. Mind you, the new characters in MK11 are actually quite good.
I'd like a new character with a new concept.
You've already got Cetrion, Garrus, Collector. Who else is new in MK11?
It's just those 3, I believe. But I would rather have a classic established character than a new one.
The thing is,
personally.
I haven't done the Zoom account yet.
Oh, classic. Too busy Tindering. Too busy. Lucky Lux is saying, "Is it Cole Turner?" If Bulk said Cole Turner, I would probably just leave this.
Oh
call
God,
right now.
yeah.
Who's Cole Turner? Oh,
You
it's
haven't
the
heard, have
new
you?
guy.
Oh, hasn't heard.
Oh, I read something and thought that can't be right.
Yeah, it's the synopsis for the new Mortal Kombat movie that's coming out.
What?
Yeah, so
Steve,
you're gonna have to sit
the
through
main
like
character.
20.
what? Steve
Yeah,
from
isn't an
Tekken
MK
is the main
character. It's
character.
a new character.
So it's going to be half an hour of setting him up and his backstory, and then maybe like a third of the way into the film, it might become a Mortal Kombat film, but from the perspective of someone no one cares about. So I'm excited? Question mark for that film.
That's a lot of questions because what reading that one sentence that this random boxing dude who's got nothing to do with the franchise is the main protagonist. The questions that immediately came up were, how many of the characters did they get the rights to? Is it like going to be Marvel and Fantastic Four sort of thing? So we're going to have to rewrite everything.
I remember when the rumors of Cole Turner started coming out, and there were other rumors along with it, like, oh, Raiden's going to be a teenager and stuff like this. And I was like,
I remember that. Yeah.
oh, so they're making the worst possible Mortal Kombat film. I see. Okay, that's what they're doing. It's like they're basically making the Mortal Kombat Armageddon Motaro of Mortal Kombat films, and that already exists with Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Tarkamus has come in with the tech there.
I like that film.
I'm just going to interrupt you, chaps. There.
Yeah.
Tarkamus, or as he shall forever be known, Tekkamus, all the way from Macedonia with the tech. He can simply. Iraklis, I'm talking directly to you, by the way. You can simply join if you go to the Zoom website and plug in that number. I think you have to have an account, don't you?
Takuma says you can join without having an account and just have a name, I believe.
I don't know about that, champ.
Deadbook says Kid Thunder is a DLC character. Now, what if Raiden isn't a teenager in the film, but it's Kid Thunder? Okay, I could live with that a little bit more.
No.
I'd rather
yeah,
have
a little bit more, but still no.
I'd rather have
still
Kid
no.
Chameleon, frankly. Right, I think we've wrapped up that question, haven't we? Did we get 5 each?
Did I do 5? I think. Well, I'd say. Oh, just quickly, I'll run through it then. Smoke.
Yeah.
But if I'm being serious, Smoke, I'd leave Sector out. Smoke, Cyrax, Reptile, Cicada.
Yes, Iraklis, give it a go. Give that number a go. Sorry, Smoke, Sector, Cyrax, what?
No, I dropped Sector. Smoke, Cyrax, Reptile, Takeda. Actually, I'd go Kenshi. Oh, I don't know. Kenshi / Takeda. One of them. And,
Stop being indecisive.
and just chuck Goro. No, Kintaro. There you go.
I want to see Kintaro.
I want Kintaro.
I want to have
Because
Kintaro
is he's like fiery Goro. He's like, do you know I like Smoke because he's like, you know, in Pokemon you get a shiny Pokemon that's a different color.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke was like that version of Scorpion. He was like the better Scorpion in the original games.
He really was.
So Kintaro is almost like that. He's like Goro, but
Don't you
furry
dare say
and
he's a
breathes
better
fire.
Goro.
I didn't. You notice I didn't actually say he's a better Goro. He's an alternate Goro that's got fur and breathes fire, and I think that's awesome.
You can say how it is, Panda. He's discount Goro.
He is.
He looks good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but
He's shiny
discount
Pokemon Goro. There you go.
The only reason I would like to see, I'm just cropping myself here. There we go, so I can expand. There.
Watch the live crop. I love it.
All right, so the only reason I would like to have Kintaro in the game is so that I can continually mistake him for Motaro, and Iraklis will get properly angry. Because you guys won't know.
Oh,
we have so many conversations where I deliberately get the two names mixed up, or just deliberately say, which was the one with the horse legs?
You know what? I would like to hear Iraklis legit angry. I don't think I've ever heard it.
You can.
I made him quite angry the other night.
No, my Motaro.
He really doesn't like Kano, and I annoyed him a little bit.
Right. Is there a
Oh, with your Kano. Well, it's Kano. I mean, that's understandable.
Is he joining? Is he joining? Are you joining?
So yeah, that's Panda's 5. Mine was Cyrax, Sector, Smoke, Motaro, and Takeda, I think. And Bulk's was...
Smoke, Sector, Cyrax, Ferrator, and brand new to the franchise character.
Yes. What kind of character would it be, though?
Yeah, I wanted to know that.
Yeah.
Have you got like a base concept for your character?
I would like them to have an unblockable mid that.
Well, you would as a Kotal player with a mid command grab.
That you could cancel into a launcher. Basically, I want Brian.
He wants Brian Fury. Just okay. Fair enough.
Right.
I mean, you could play Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and there you go.
No, I don't want to play that.
I had some good times on that game, but I'm not going to say it is a high quality game.
Not like this stream, frankly. Come on, not like we're not talking. It's not quality. Not quality.
I've never hated Law and Heihachi more than when I played that game. Let me tell you.
I've never played that game.
I've got it somewhere on the Xbox 360. That's how
only
old
about
it is.
15 people that did. It sold.
Classic game.
I think it sold just over 1 million copies, or maybe
That's
quite
under. Impressive, isn't it? Is that impressive for a...
Not for the life of the game.
I think Street Fighter Cross Tekken is the reason we never got the planned Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Because they made Street Fighter Cross Tekken and everyone was like, "This is pants," and then they went, "Well, you ain't getting Tekken Cross Street Fighter then."
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Is that Bandai Namco promised that they would do their version of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So they promised that they were going to do that, and when the Capcom one completely sank and died, they thought, well, we're all right. I think directly after that, Bandai Namco did 3 or 4 more Tekken games, and they were completely happy.
Yeah. They had Tekken, they had Soul Calibur on and off, kind of.
The Soul Calibur community got a little bit burned, I think. They didn't get what they should have deserved. Right, anyway, enough of 3D malarkey. Enough of that malarkey, Jack. What's the next question?
The next question is, how long do you want MK11 for?
Well, before we answer that, we're going to take a quick break while we try and set up the man, the myth, the Tinder legend.
Is he ready?
He's ready. He's awaiting. He's in the waiting room.
I can see words above me.
In fact, if I do this, you could even see it. My laptop entered the waiting room. What a perfect way to describe. Hang on. Wait. My laptop entered the waiting room. That's just perfect because you need the password. I press this. Yeah, don't worry, Heracles. Chill out, man. All right, I'm going to send you 2. We'll be right back. The music does pop in this, so you might want to turn your volume down immediately. I'm going to give you a 3, 2... That's better. I've unmuted my mic. All right. What I was saying.
These are the first episode issues, everyone.
Yeah. Let's just iron this out now. Is my thingy slightly off centre there, Noel Bulk, as well? I've got a big black bar.
What we're doing is we're gonna run with that because I just had to.
Okay,
turn,
yeah.
I just had to turn.
Don't fiddle with it. You might break it.
Yeah. It works. Don't touch it.
Yeah. So this is.
Hello to everyone in the chat also.
You've just done and done it again, Heracles. You've just done and done it again.
Carlos.
Yeah,
So
Carlos asking, has it just started?
Has it
We've
just
been
started?
going for about 45
of course.
minutes, Carlos.
Yes, Carlos, it's just started. Sure, why not?
We've only got through one question, to be fair, so you haven't really missed much. We just spoke about Kombat Pack 3 characters, and then Heracles joined.
I'm going to say that again because these, just in the same way as our governments, respective governments, in our case the British government, and Heracles' case the Vietnamese government, they give public health messages out to their people. It's very important that you guys understand that watching these Twitch streams in public or in a public place not on your own can be incredibly dangerous. And the reason is because now we've put Heracles' voice and image on screen. People around people who are watching this stream can immediately get pregnant.
Did you see what Tarkum has said? He said, I've already had my second pregnancy by looking at it.
There we go. So he is a public service, is what Heracles likes to be known as.
He's a public service.
The public service provider.
Apparently he is Vietnamese as well, it's just bad lighting.
All right, so question 2, please, Hearts.
Question 2. How long do you want Mortal Kombat 11 for?
Good question.
Bob,
Heracles, why don't you go ahead? Oh, who wants to go first? Go.
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, because I got thoughts on this. Okay? So, it's known that before MK11 came out, they said that they want to support this game longer than they have with any of their other games. And I believe they've already done that, because normally they stop after about a year, don't they? Because they bring out the Game of the Year edition, and then that's basically it. And then a year later, they bring out the new game. I would love to see this game continue to be worked on, because it's an amazing game, just underneath a lot of issues, and those issues are fixable, almost all of them. So they could fix the issues, but I want them to make... A lot of people are saying Armageddon 2, because I'm ancient, I call it Trilogy 3, because Armageddon 2 is already Trilogy 2. So I want to see MK Trilogy 3, is what I want to see. I want to see MK11, but with maybe it's a bit unreasonable to ask for every Mortal Kombat character, because I think there's been like 94. But I want the roster to be double it is now by the time this game's done.
79 Mortal Kombat characters.
Yes.
79.
So double the roster what they've got now. Let's go. It's not like they're lacking characters, and they can sprinkle in a few new ones, like maybe a character that plays like Brian, perhaps. I don't know.
What, you mean broken? Constantly plus.
So easy. All the scrubs will pick him up and go, Sindel's nothing. This guy carries.
Just play Kano.
Okay.
So in terms of length, I don't know. I guess I'd like this to go on. What are we in now? 2021. I'd keep it going until 2025, 2026, maybe. Just stick another 3 or 4 years onto it. I mean, they've just ported it over.
Wow.
They've just ported it over to the PS5, and this would give. They wouldn't need like the full team just making the characters, so they could branch off and start working on other IPs, which is what Ed Boon sounds like he wants to do anyway. Sounds like he wants to do something with Marvel, which could be good.
Sort of what like ArcSys are doing. Their mainline fighting game is Dragon Ball Fighters, and at the same time they've produced Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. They are doing.
That was them.
Yeah,
Was that ArcSys? Was it?
Yes, they are doing Guilty Gear. That's their mainline. That's their passion project. That's their real mainline title. That's coming out.
I
this
played
year.
one of those once.
Yeah, I played in arcade. That's a very fun game in the arcade. They're releasing Dungeon Fighter Duel, DNF Duel, which was really big in Korea back in the day, but not so much out here. And they've got another game on they've got another project on the go as well. So while they're doing their mainline title and supporting that for many years, they've also got some other projects going on underneath. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
That's exactly the sort of thing I was thinking of, because they don't. I don't make games, but I know enough to realize that you don't need a whole team to work on every individual aspect. So I imagine.
Harps, can I
Yes.
ask you something?
Yeah.
If I understood correctly, you want MK11 to be supported even with Injustice 3 out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
both of them to be alive games. I mean, supported
Yeah, I mean, I
with new characters, patches, and stuff.
I don't think I would mind so much if they didn't make Injustice 3. There, I said it. There.
Yeah, me neither. But
Because
I
Injustice
agree.
2.
If given the choice,
Really?
I'd rather MK11 have more support than Injustice 3 get released. I'd rather wait, even if it's 2 more years, because it's just been ported to PS5. Like you said, 3 or 4. I don't know if that's a bit of a push. Maybe 2 more years, then go for Injustice 3. Like,
Yeah.
personally, to answer that question, I'd just say 2 more years. But pretty much what you've just said, just with less of a time span. And without 79 characters.
Well, it's like Injustice 2 is really good, but after I think it was 6 months, I was just done with it. I was like, I've had my fill of this game, and I went straight back to MKX. So I'm not in any rush to get to Injustice 3. I see people keep crying out for information about it, and I get that. But like I say, I would just be happy if they worked on Mortal Kombat more so than the other stuff, which is probably why I just want them to keep supporting and keep bringing out more and more characters, because I love Mortal Kombat, and Injustice is a fun diversion every now and then, but it's not Mortal Kombat, is it?
Speaking of someone who appreciates fun diversions, Heracles, what's your take on this?
About
The longevity of MK11. How long do you want it to go for?
my opinion is same as Harps. I mean, I would like MK11 to continue its life, let's say, to be alive for much longer, like Harps said. Even with the Injustice 3 out, I don't care if there will be. It will be an Injustice 3, apparently, or whatever game you game. But I would like MK11 to continue. But in order to do that, NRS has to not to fix some things, make some changes. I don't know if we have talked about.
No, I think that's another question, really. But yeah, I understand. I see what you're getting at.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of people who like changes in their character pool, what do you reckon, Panda?
Just to echo Heracles and Harps' thoughts, really. There, I agree with Harps. MK11 is a great game, and I can wait for Injustice 3. I'm not in any rush to get onto that. And to be fair, whenever an Injustice game comes out, I just play it to bridge the gap between the next MK game coming out. So it's a gap filler at the end of the day to me. So
That's exactly the same.
Yeah. So I'd say support it for 2 more years, because like Harp said, it's just been ported to PS5. Give it the next gen support. Maybe 2 more combat packs, like 8 more characters, like 5 and then 3 or something like that. Give it 2 more years of support, and yeah, I'd be happy. Like Heracles said, it's almost it's hard to word. It has got its issues, and if they can iron them out, then it'll be a brilliant game. Basically, nigh on perfect game. But those issues do need addressing, because they are big issues.
And I'm sure we're going to be coming on.
Like little things like the breakaway system. How long have people been going on at them about the breakaway system being down and block? It just changed the input. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. If that sort of stuff gets ironed out, then yeah, support it for another 2 years at least, and I'd be happy.
Okay. Well, this is a divisive issue in the chat. We've got some injustice loyalists who also love MK. Let's not just say they're not playing MK11 in between Injustice titles. there's not the opposite. In fact, I don't think you're going to find that in the NRS community, is people who only play Mortal Kombat because Injustice isn't around. You don't have that. It's always Mortal Kombat first, and Injustice happens to be there.
Yeah, that's just the way the NRS community is. They're primarily a Mortal Kombat based community.
Yeah.
It's because Mortal Kombat came first. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's their main IP, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Now, speaking of people that understand about filling gaps, Bulk, as in, what do you fill a gap with? You put some bulky stuff there.
Oh god, you and your filthy mind, Bulk.
You guys tar me with a horrible, horrible reputation. Anyway, what I was going to suggest was, I feel I differ a little bit from you guys. I feel that once the errors and the things that could really do with being looked at if they get changed. I think that there's probably about a year of game left in the game, and that doing a new title would give them the opportunity to try some completely new things, just in the same way as they did already with Injustice 2 from MKX. They introduced the idea of custom variation moves in Injustice 2. And that was developed. They thought they did something. They really liked it. They moved it on into Mortal Kombat 11. Lost their big boy pants just before releasing MK11 and said, "Here's your two ranked variation modes." Then they found their courage and said, "You can have all of the variations now, apart from a couple." I think that Injustice 3 will give them something, a fresh, something that hasn't got any baggage to it, for them to try other things that maybe would make the difference in, they might be able to come up with some kind of way of opening up the strike throw game that they have in MK11, and when MK12 comes around, it will only benefit. So my view is get Injustice 3 out as per schedule, just so we can see what the.
So you just want to use Injustice 3 as a beta, basically, for MK12?
Yes.
Just use that, because no one really cares about that franchise. Just chuck stuff in that and see what happens.
Look what they've ported directly.
To be fair, they can do that as well, because it's usually a legacy game, Injustice, isn't it? Like Injustice 2 was pretty much a legacy game of Injustice 1. So if you haven't got to put as much time into new move animations, all that stuff, because it's legacy, then yeah, chuck a few things in. But that goes along with what Hart said as well, because if you bring both out at the same time, carry on the support for MK11, maybe bring Injustice out in a year. I think you can merge all your ideas together.
Yeah.
Carry on support for MK11 for 2 years, bring Injustice 3 out in another year's time, I suppose, and then just let people play what they want to play. But
I think 2020 and Corona is going to have pushed the timetables back to where you guys want it anyway. I think you're going to end up with Injustice 3 delayed by a year, and they could easily do so. There will be. Honestly, I don't know if there's going to in the enthusiasm level for the MK title and then the Injustice title wanes in year 2, and people can postpone and set back their expectations, and maybe it will last for year 3. But I don't know if the enthusiasm level in the game is in the state that it's in will be able to be sustained for longer than that. I
think I read the question differently, because let me read it word for word. How long do you want? Actually, I'll read it word for word as Bulk wrote it. How long do you want to MK11 for? I was taking it as I don't honestly believe at all in any perceivable universe that they're going to make it Armageddon 3, but that's what I want. And that's what I was reading the question as. I didn't. I guess, realistically, I think it's just going to be, they're just going to continue business as normal. Injustice 3 is probably going to come out next year or the year after, and then Mortal Kombat 12 probably 2 years after that, or maybe 3, as games get longer and longer to make.
Well, that's the issue, is the development time. We saw that from MKX to Injustice 2 and then Injustice 2 to MK11. how much recycled stuff from Injustice 2 is there? The moment you put the disc in and see a loading screen, it's the Injustice 2 loading screen. And then you have the Injustice 2 menu bar. And then you have the Injustice 2, the towers is the multiverse. It's
The
exactly
UI guy
the same.
for NetherRealm just left NetherRealm though. I don't know if he left or whether he was. Yeah, he doesn't work for them anymore though, so that won't be the case now.
Can the music guy leave, and then they can get Mick Gordon in?
What we need is for the
Whoever's
we
in
need
charge of
the
that needs to get sacked.
yeah,
for
whoever's in
saying they
charge
don't
of
like
music
Mick
needs to
Gordon's
go.
work.
Yes.
They got rid of the wrong dude.
I mean, it's one thing to not like Mick Gordon's work. It's another thing to say, no, you can't score Mortal Kombat. I mean, that's just too far.
Yeah, he had to. Mick Gordon actually said he wanted to do it, and they're like, nah.
Yeah.
Well, he might have done
Killer
something
Instinct has
behind the
amazing
scenes
music.
that we don't
Doom
know
has amazing
about.
music. Tekken has amazing music.
maybe
Mortal
he was-
Kombat has forgettable background sound that they call music.
What if he was invited to Ed Boon's daughter's 5th birthday, and he got wildly drunk and out of control and landed in the cake, or something like that, or he punched the performing clown.
I would say number one, good job because clowns deserve it. Number two, I'll let you off because you made the soundtrack to Doom and Doom Eternal. So I'll give you a free pass to punch the clown at my kid's birthday. In fact, here's a reward.
Okay, all right. Anyway, have we run out of answers on that question?
Yeah, we pretty much wrap that one up.
I would love to go to like Ed Boon's daughter's 5th birthday and punch the clown. I would love to do that.
Well, we know you love beating up kids.
That's what he gets paid to do for a living. He beats up kids for a living.
Just enter the garden, karate kick the garden gate open, and then just start swinging.
Danny Sadiq in the chat. Clowns deserve it. Panda shudders in fear.
Oh, it's so funny.
What
Alright,
if the
Danny.
clown was the
I feel like I should
Joker?
clarify, Bolt
Good point,
does
Carlos.
not enjoy beating children up. I feel like I should clarify that just in case.
No, he just gets paid to. He doesn't enjoy it. He just gets paid
No,
to.
I don't enjoy a second of it. Let me tell you that it's. I see the faces at night every time I wake up in cold sweats, but it's what I get paid to do.
So you wake up like,
Just walk in and karate chop a kid in the neck.
don't let Bolt.
Right.
Next question.
Before we go on to question 3, I did notice it in the chat. I think it was Tarks or someone was asking what would have been very very quickly, Iraklis, what was your answer to question 1? The 5 Combat Pack 3 characters.
This was for Iraklis, wasn't it?
I did say Iraklis. Did I say Iraklis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut out a little bit.
I'm just thinking about it. I would like to see Quan Chi, but probably not gonna happen because he's not popular enough. I would like to see Motaro, but that's never going to happen in MK11 at least, because we all know how are you supposed to grab him? What the animations will be.
Yeah, that's the issue with that, isn't it? Because he's a 4-legged character.
It'd be like fighting Doom
But let
Train.
me make him Minotaur. Not
Yeah, but do you really want to? Do you really, that's like, yeah, it's Armageddon, Kintaro, whatever his name is, Kintaro. I know you like
What's the
it.
name of that guy
with
with the legs?
You know that guy with the horse body, Kintaro.
okay.
They could make custom animations. It would be funny.
I will say Quan Chi, Motaro, Sector Cyrax. You can't have an MK game in 2021, 2020 anyway, and not have the cyborg. Not
I think
have
everyone's agreed on that. I think we all said the cyborgs, didn't we?
Reptile should be in because you cannot have in this year, in the 11th installment, not to have Reptile. Basically, one of the biggest names in MK. And okay, I would say Smoke only because Panda.
Yeah, we need smoke.
Yeah, we keep saying smoke just for Panda.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
He's the most popular out there as a favorite. I mean, people want him. Just like Melina. They want Melina.
I think Smoke. I mean, I don't have access to all the information, but it seems like Smoke is the second most requested.
I think he's more popular than Melina, but his fans are less vocal.
I would have agreed with you if I hadn't seen Twitter for the last 2 years.
But that's what I mean. They're more vocal. They're just absolute nutcases about it. Whereas Smoke players are like, oh, Smoke would be cool, and then we just go and pick up every other character because he's not on the roster.
I didn't think Sindel was very popular at all. Like, because I've never cared about Sindel at all. But with MK11, people were going nuts when she got revealed in the Kombat pack, and I couldn't believe. I was like, oh, there's actually an insanely huge following for her. Okay, fair enough.
What about
I didn't know.
Noob Saibot?
He's in the game, isn't he?
No, because the original Smoke character was Noob Saibot, wasn't he?
No.
No?
No, Noob and Smoke and Jade were the three hidden
Oh yeah,
characters in
no,
Mortal Kombat 2.
I'm confusing I'm mixing my toasties there. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was,
Classic
Was it
it was MK2
Deception?
that I'm thinking of.
Noob Smoke was a character. They teamed up.
Noob Smoke was a character.
Yeah, Noob Smoke should just be forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Biggest down. Is there a bigger downgrade for character design than Smoke when he became Noob Smoke?
Become the shadow. Like.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just a cloud of smoke now. Go away. Try again.
With a robot head. It was a cloud of smoke with a robot head. What's that all about?
Yeah.
And he was just Noob's mate.
And Noob had white skin.
Had skin,
He didn't have his black skin. What's wrong? What's up
Cloud
with
of Smoke with a robot head is found in Swedish's dungeon. Right, moving on to question 3. What do we have?
Question number 3. Aha. What system mechanics do you enjoy most?
In MK11.
In MK11, yes.
Anything that isn't the breakaway system. Purely because of the input.
Hang on. We haven't gotten to that question yet, Panda.
Okay, carry on. I just want to whinge about the input.
System mechanics.
You can. So what,
Danny
what
enjoys
mechanics,
the jump mechanic.
What mechanics do you like in MK11? Enjoy the most?
I didn't like it initially, but I like the meter system. I like the idea of it regenerating over time, almost like a stamina bar, and it builds itself up, rather than, because in MKX you had characters, I don't know, actually, this is a bit of a double-edged sword, because it was quite cool that you had characters that relied on their meter build, like Thunder God Raiden, but I think I prefer... I think I actually quite like the meter system in MK11, and flawless blocks. Flawless blocks probably my favourite new mechanic, because I think that's a great mechanic. You can, if you've got the execution to time your block.
It's like an extra level of knowledge you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just brings Mortal Kombat into the dragging it, kicking and screaming into the 1990s with other games that have the same mechanic. But no, I take your point. It's for where Mortal Kombat has come from, to have flawless block and short hop in there is actually a real step ahead. It was a real step ahead in terms of maturity for the game itself, in terms of game engine.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, look, it's a doggo.
He's lying on the floor eating something.
Probably eating all that popcorn you're dropping.
Panda.
I've got a George here, but I don't want to pick George up because he sleeps. So
we don't keep
there's
pets because I don't want to have to look after pets.
Yeah, that's understandable. And
Take it.
Right, what
they
about
can be
you guys?
expensive when
What are
things
your
go wrong with
favorite? Harps, what's your favorite mechanic then in the game?
My favourite mechanic. It's a bit hard to hear you, Bulk. You keep cutting out on my end.
What's your favorite mechanic? That's all I said.
Easily crushing blows. Easily crushing blows. I love them. They're always hype. It's always good. I mean, the crushing blows that have stupid requirements that are really hard to get, so you won't get them, are annoying. Like Noob Saibot had one. It was on the Running Man, where he digs the sickle into their chest, and that's a crushing blow. But you have to land 10 clone hits with Noob Saibot before that comes into effect. And it was only really viable in Seeing Double, which kind of sucked because I didn't use Seeing Double. But if they're I mean, being blessed as I was playing Sub-Zero and Baraka, they've got super easy crushing blows, and crushing blows on throws and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of that. I love knowing you've got it locked and loaded and trying to work on getting it on, and likewise knowing when your opponent has one locked and loaded, and then trying to prevent them from getting that fatal blow, that crushing blow on, and it just looks awesome. So yeah, I would say easily crushing blows. I would love to see it back, especially since they took X-rays away. Fatal blows, they just don't show any bones breaking, you know. So it's like fatal blows are good. I preferred X-rays, and crushing blows are like mini X-rays scattered throughout the fight. And like flawless blocks, it was just something else to think about that you never had to think about in Mortal Kombat before. And I think it was a great addition. So 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, Heracles, what do you reckon?
I like the flawless block mechanic, although I don't use it. But the thing is, I also like that the fact that some strings have gaps, and you can poke out or punish. I mean, hit them in between. I like that also.
So you like interruptible strings?
Big gaps.
Mashing with down one.
They have
Total's back 2-2-3.
dashing back, because with the running mechanic there was the spacing wasn't so important. I mean, in a second, less than a second, the opponent who is across the screen is right in your face.
Yeah.
I like the movement in the game.
But if you were to pick a mechanic,
The average, not range, it's too much.
but if you were to pick a mechanic, what would you say? Would it be the neutral and the movement is not a mechanic, but the flawless blocking is a mechanic.
Yeah, I can't think of any other mechanic. I mean, okay, crashing blows are an interesting feature in the game.
I like the armor breaks. Sorry to interrupt, because we said about the breakaway. Not many people like that, but the fact that you've got an armor break to use to bait a breakaway, I think that makes quite an interesting mind game.
Well, you have anyway. I don't.
I think about breakaway it's also a bad mechanic, because it's unfair mechanic for some characters. You know, if you break and they go for a 1-bar combo and they break, they will punish you.
Okay. Yeah, this is true.
I will say I like the up 2 and up 3 wake ups.
I miss being able to just wake up YOLO slide in MKX. I miss that.
Who says the people don't do that? Anyway. The thing is, the up 3 and up 2 as wake ups are not so useful as they should be. It's more useful usually to do wake up buttons. That's a problem in my opinion.
It never works.
You don't like wake up buttons, but
Doesn't cost? Yes, I don't like them because it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing.
Yeah. If you get knocked to the floor, you should be at the disadvantage.
Is neutral.
That's a whole different. That's a whole different conversation.
Wake up jump is an ugly mechanic, but it works.
Hey, Mortal Kombat game. Everyone wakes up jumps.
Yes.
Just 'cause it's not new to
Doesn't
Mortal
cost you
Kombat 11.
anything, and it works.
How many times have you been trying to pressure someone with Quan Chi in the corner and they just jump out? How? They just do it. They just
Wait, I could have done that all this time?
He had a 5-frame MJP though.
What, with Quan Chi? Yeah, but he'd go for his overhead or his low, but then you just jump out. Cyber Sub-Zero pressure, just jump out. So it's not a unique thing to MK11 by any stretch of the imagination. It's worse in other games.
That wasn't on Wake Up though. In MK11, Oki's a bit weak. It's not really on. The best thing, in my opinion, to do on Oki is to walk back and see what they do because they've got so many Wake Up options. You're kind of at a disadvantage having Oki.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was I saw on Twitter say that. I think it was Scar maybe mentioned it. He said there's so many options for the person on the floor. It almost gives them the advantage for being knocked down. And you shouldn't have to guess between 50 wake-up options.
Yeah, they can roll back, they can roll forward, they can wake up 2, up 3, they can wake up jump, they can wake up buttons.
They can delay wake up?
Delay wake up.
Yeah, you're better off just stepping back and like, go on and do what you're going to do and I'll just try and react to it.
They could also do a reversal, a wake-up reversal, because the special move comes out faster than their buttons.
Yeah.
Comes out on the first
So
frame.
you can wake up slide harps.
So you can wake up slide. It's
You can.
The original reversal is what it is. Yeah.
Well, one thing Heracles just mentioned with regards to the running, when he said like spacing doesn't really exist in MKX because of the run, and as soon as he said that, I was like, is that why I have no spacing in MK11? Because MKX is the first Mortal Kombat. MKX is the first fighting game I took seriously, and there's no spacing in it, and I'm like, oh, that explains why I'm just constantly trying to close the gap and nothing else with my character.
There is spacing. It's just a lot weaker in MKX because you could just run in straight into a 50-50 for 50%. There's not much neutral play or footsies in MKX.
There's no neutral. There's no neutral. There's no neutral in MKX.
I'll just throw my clone out. What are you gonna do? You gonna teleport? Let's go.
So I would say I don't want to cut Heracles off, but I think I would say mechanics that I like. I would kind of agree with all of you. I really like the way the meter. The first thing that that struck me at the beta was the meter, and that everything was based around the concept of time, which I didn't really get until I played the story mode and really. And I know they were talking about time and in the podcasts of like the Kombat cast. That was the first thing they were saying. Like Stephanie and the guys were just saying. Everything in this game is based around time, and then I forgot that they said that until I played the game itself. So so I like what they did with the meter. It is a really good thing for games because not all characters build meter, and that's across all fighting games with meter. Some characters are really good at building meter, and they get to spend and abuse that meter all the time. Other characters,
like a Thunder God Raiden, like I said.
Yeah, or even in MKX it was heavily skewed, and then you had characters that built meter all the time and didn't need it, like Sonya. She built meter all the time through just through block strings, through block pressure, and you could guess right for half a round, and she's got 2 bars. And
so you touch her once and bang, breaker.
Exactly, and then exactly that. She's got her breaker. And what do you get out of it? Well, you've been blocking all that time, so you didn't get anything. Or you play Kotal Khan. Obviously, I'm going to be. That's my perspective mainly. I played.
Here comes the downplay.
Well, I played 5 characters, 4 of which built meter incredibly well, and then Kotal Khan. So Kotal Khan didn't build meter very well, and he kind of needed it to extend his combos, but he got some decent other things as a trade-off. He got a mid-command grab. He got the ability to put Sun to heal himself and do extra damage and all of that stuff. But compare him to HQT Predator, to Crystalline Tremor, that I also played, to Full Auto Jackie, that I also played. The amount of meter built, Assassin Katana, also played her. And the meter gain that they had was incredible. Katana was building meter. She never needed it until you finally stopped blocking low in the corner and she did half your life.
Literally it was more than 50% of the corner, wasn't it?
And it would take, like, you could go and put the kettle on and make a cup of tea and get back before her combo's finished.
Yeah, so of all of the...
She finishes and then wins by a timeout.
Sub-Zero mirrors, Katana mirrors in MKX, the worst mirrors to watch if you didn't have commentary, because they would always end in timeout. All right, 2 Sub-Zero players would try and kill each other with ice balls.
Just sit there throwing clones at each other.
Yeah. Oh, I loved throwing clones in that game. Oh, so much.
I used to
miss
like ball rolling
Grandmaster
underneath it.
Sub-Zero.
Do you remember me ball rolling underneath that a lot?
With who?
Melina.
The girl with the ball.
With who? The girl with
Sorry,
the ball.
sorry, it sounded like you said bull running, and I was like, bull running?
Roll.
Ball roll, yeah. I do remember that. It was painful. I also remember you teleporting behind me and punching through the clone
With
with
smoke. Yeah, doing the
smoke's-
back too. Yeah,
smoke
because you'd
wasn't
throw it
it?
and I'd be behind you like, ha, bang.
That's exactly what happened. I'd be like, now what? And you're like, this.
Timeout. Danny Sadiq with the confirmation there. Timeout comment. True.
Yeah.
So
As a katana main.
yeah,
Esteemed katana main in
I
the
may
chat.
be a boomer, but I do have a decent enough memory of the last 4 or 5 years.
I don't. You were naming variations, and I was like, oh, I remember crystalline tremor, and I hadn't thought about it in like 3 years.
That was the green jelly baby arms.
Flexoline.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like,
Flex.
give me my hit
It's like
of armor.
I stopped playing Mortal Kombat X, and I was like, and now it never happened. MK11.
If I went back and did it again, I would main Crystalline Tremor from day one. End of story. And I know he wasn't out day one, but I only picked up in MKXL. So I already had it.
I did, that's why I only picked up MKXL.
Look at these casuals over here, like casuals over here, everyone.
I like, so the mechanics wise, I really like the way the meter is done. I can't think of, I mean there is another title, excuse me. It's that Uniclear, and you build up a grid system at the bottom. But that's.
I thought you were talking about some medication then.
It's for your face, yeah. No, I don't even. It's a very complex anime game. I don't know anything about it. I've seen some footage of it, and there's a grid at the bottom that is like a tug of war between you and your opponent, and so that builds up over time. But it's a unique mechanic to that franchise, to that particular game. But the first thing that struck me in the beta was the meter, it was time based, and then the second thing that I probably really love. Don't get me wrong, I love the notion of flawless blocking. I think that I don't want to give it any more than it already does. I mean, it can already get you half a combo. It can already turn something from safe to negative, from safe to punishable. It can get you, and it should be like your go-to answer in certain situations. So in the same way as in Guilty Gear, you have instant blocking, and in faultless defense as well, and things like that. And even in Injustice 2, you had push block, and in other games you have push block as well. I think that crushing blows, like Iroquois and Harpalop said, are just great. To be rewarded for your read, both in damage and visually, so you know and they know and anyone watching knows that you made the sickest of reads and that was all down to you. Yes, Crushing Blows was because of the visual impact and the cinematics and the fact that it's not just like a Tekken zoom in and like slow-mo, it's a full cinematic sequence, and
It's in your face.
yeah, or what was left of your face. It's I think because of it rewards you so much in every department. It's so satisfying on every level, which is something that Iroquois will absolutely know about. But it's that's what I really like about it, is the crushing blow element, the fact that it is woven into the game so well as well. I think there are some issues with some of the crushing blows. I think some of them could be easier to get, and I think that some of them are too easy to get.
Like Danny just said, be
yeah.
rewarded for your read with a random JJ.
Well, you get rewarded eventually.
Look, exactly. If you do 17 down twos around, it's no longer random, is it? It's no longer a read. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not you using your years of gaming experience and your knowledge of the characters and your gauging of your opponent's temperament to come out with the perfect answer at the right time. No, they just walked into it. That's different.
Well, I mean, it kind of is with Jade, isn't it? Because it's like, wait, am I on the floor? Then it's the right time. Down two.
There's a term in the Street Fighter community of the Ume Shoryu, which is made famous by Daigo Umehara, and that's he has the most perfect timing to do the invincible uppercut, the Shoryuken, which if you got it wrong is massively punishable. So if you know someone's going to like wake up DP, you block it and then it's massive punish. And the Ume flash kick, yes, it's the Ume flash kick with Guile now. People, if Daigo Umehara does it in a match, he's a genius. If anyone else does it, they're a YOLO mentalist who wakes up in the morning and believes they are a vegetable. Okay. So
it's brilliant.
This is the truth of the matter. If Daigo Umehara mained Jade and always got the crushing blow down two in every game, they'd go, the man's a genius. That is 30 years of experience and knowledge all wrapped up into one unassuming, humble Japanese shell. And then if anyone else picked up Jade, they're just mashing down two, bruh. What's your problem?
They got rewarded for limiting themselves to that one move so many times in a row. They eventually get rewarded.
Okay.
I love it. There's. I'd like to change my answer. Actually, my most favorite. The system mechanic that I enjoy the most is not crushing blows. It's going to throw Jade, and you hear the beginning of the down two, but your throw got there first.
Or you hit him out of it. You meet him out of there down two.
Yeah. You hear them try to go for the down two, and you stuff it. That's my favourite.
Yeah, that is so satisfying.
It's when you interrupt her down two doing anything, like down three, or in my case, mid command grab, or whatever it may be. So you interrupt it and you hear the tonk. That's it's so
denied.
All right, so just conscious of the time. I don't know how many more questions we've got to go through, but I think we should get through to the next one before we start losing Panda's neck.
Yes. Okay. We've already kind of touched on the question.
Put it away,
what sort of things.
Panda needs a license to produce noises like that.
It's crazy. Okay, now we're getting on to Panda's favourite question. He's been dying for an hour and a half to talk about this. What system mechanics would you see changed? I can guess what he's going to say.
We kind of covered that a minute ago, didn't we?
No, not really.
Did we?
Well, we just spoke about things we do like. Yeah, breakaway input. That's literally anything other than down and R2.
Make it down and L2. Give the stance. It would make sense because you're coming out, you're switching your stance. Make it the stance switch button. Down and L2 or back and L2 or up and R2. Like, not
why do they not do it?
Down and block, because you can get hit by a YOLO slide or a projectile and then try to block low, but for some reason with the input system as well, you can block low before that even happens, still get hit and then break away, and it's like, it's enough to just let you switch off and play Tekken.
I know it upsets people, partly because I'm a person and it upsets me, but partly because there was this one time I was Sub-Zero. I did a slide on a Scarlet, right, the first, straight out the gate, did a slide, she did a breakaway, I did actually, it was an F2 slide, the breakaway came out, and that was obviously unintentional. Then I did the back 3-2 freeze combo, and then she quit. It was like a 5-second quitality, and I was like, that's the accidental breakaway doing that.
Did you upload that as a tweet? Because I think I saw that. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but it was an old clip because I wasn't even part of Team Considerable back then.
Oh my goodness!
And look at me now. I'm on the world's best podcast.
The world's best produced podcast. I think.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, I feel a bit underdressed because I'm not really being very professional right now by not wearing a tie. I didn't realise how professional you were willing to take it back.
Bow tie on.
Well, look, at least you're not wearing a vest like some kind of snarky freak. Right.
Yeah, because we couldn't see your bow tie last time you wore it on stream, Panda. But oh no, sorry, Bulk wore a bow tie, didn't he?
Yeah, but
We
yeah,
couldn't see
yeah,
it.
it was
Yes.
Yeah,
So no,
that was it.
we both
some sort of snarky freak.
The last times we both streamed with a bow tie. So in my case, it was the tier 3 tussle, the last MK stream before Christmas. In Panda's case, it was the last stream that he did. We were both wearing bow ties. Mine was invisible because it was a black bow tie and I had a black vest on, and Panda's was invisible because he wore it on his chap. Right, Iraklis, what's your mechanics that you'd like to see changed? Or do you have any more, Panda, after Breakaway?
No, just that one thing.
Okay.
Is it me or is it Iraklis?
I think I said Iraklis. I think before we did Panda, then Iraklis. So I think
Okay.
to be fair, it should go the other way around.
When Bulk asked me the mechanics that I liked in the game before, except flawless blocking, I couldn't think of anything else, to be honest. But I had dozens of ideas of what I don't want in the game. And I love MK more than anyone of you, any of you, probably.
Go on then, reel him off, let's hear him.
Except Panda. Okay, in heart, I don't know. Bulk certainly doesn't love MK as much as I do. And
Wait, hang on.
Anyway, I wanted to say that there are tons of things that they should be fixed.
I'm ready. Go
they
for
should
it.
be changed. They should be addressed. First of all, like Panda said, just change the inputs for breakaway.
Yeah, definitely.
Breakaway. None of us asked for a breakaway. We wanted breaker, okay, but you wanted breakaway. Maybe because you wanted more punishes in the game, fake punishes. That's not real punish because you wanted to meet it. Or anyway, I don't agree with breakaway, but since breakaway is a thing, I say change the input. That's one.
Yes.
Number two. Fatal blows, okay. We didn't really need fatal blows in a game that has tons of crashing blows.
Iraklis, may I just pause you there? If you notice that your co-commentators here, they're all PPE'd because they're witnessing the onslaught, the barrage. Go ahead, Iraklis, tell us what you don't like.
Go on, speak ill of our game.
Who doesn't want fatal blows to just be used once, since they are a thing, okay? They are a thing. We cannot avoid it. Used once, land or not, just not be able to use them again.
Like a
Yeah,
prophylactic.
I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah.
So in that way, the guy who spends the fatal blow in a combo as a combo ender gets rewarded. The Kombat League baby here, KLBR, he won't be as much rewarded.
I kind of disagree. I mean, I agree that the people doing it at the end of the combo would be more rewarded, but I've always been a fan of the comeback mechanic, and if you're getting combos on people, you don't need the comeback mechanic. I mean, this might just be some scrubbery coming out, but when I was playing Street Fighter 4, I used to love, the more I got my butt kicked, the closer I got to my Raging Demon with Akuma. And then I would just jump over them, and I would just land the Raging Demon and win with absolutely minimal skill. I'm personally a fan of that.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, we all know and we all agree, I think, everyone here in the chat, in the world, that when you do a down to crushing blow into a fatal blow, and you have a huge damage given for you, and you make a comeback. It's not fair, okay? Let's admit it. It's a cheat. You just robbed the other guy.
It is ridiculous. I don't know if I've ever seen a down 2 crushing blow into a fatal blow.
Generally,
I'm
if you
sure it
have,
happens.
I mean,
It happens all the time. How have you never seen that?
another thing I would like to see changed is the damage that fatal blows and crushing blows do, and the requirements. Some requirements are, for example, okay, Ermac lift. Opponent has to block late in order for it to hit. In other
I
words,
hate that one.
I know that you can only get it by doing a YOLO down 4 into lift or a string unsafe with Ermac in the end, not hit confirming.
The thing with those
Only
late block ones.
with this way you get it.
The thing with there's a few special moves in the game which require you to block late and then they give a crushing blow, right? But that we're doing it all the time anyway because we're getting accidental breakaways off of a stray projectile. So we're clearly blocking late and holding down at the same time. So we're doing it all the time. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting accidental breakaway is accidental.
There was there's a Cetrion one where she does the tendrils, and if you're going to land the tendrils, you want to amp it for the extra combo damage. But it also has a crushing blow, which only triggers if they block late. So you have to hit them with it, and then just hope they blocked late to get the crushing blow. And if they didn't block late, then you lose all the combo damage you could have had. And I that crushing blow, I always hated it because you had to bank on, you had to willingly give up on a combo just hoping that they blocked late, and you don't know when it happens. So that, I don't like that requirement at all. I don't like the block late requirement.
I wanted to say something about the requirements. I don't like the down 2 requirement, the uppercut requirement.
It should be throws only, not throws and highs. Is that what you're going to say?
Throws, because the other one only you can get by, okay, it's a read, but we all know that most people get it through because of mashing. We all have got it at some point.
Are they a particular type
also,
of
I don't
player
like the throw. I mean, what kind of punish it is? Well, why are you punished exactly? Because you because you guessed wrong that he will throw you back or forward. I mean, that's
in this.
Crazy.
I prefer that in the beta. In the beta, you had to guess wrong twice. You could tech wrong once and then tech wrong again.
Yes.
And whereas if that was the case now, you could tech wrong once and then just think, I'm just going to take the throw now. It's not worth risking teching wrong again and then getting crushing blows. That was much better than it is now. You tech wrong once and then it's like, with the meta being strike throw based like it is, that opens up a massive mind game then because you're going to beat a 30% combo or a 30% throw. Whereas if it was, you had to tech wrong twice, you could just take the throw and just take the 13% now. But that was better previously as it was, in my opinion.
I guess with the throw one, if you tech wrong once, you know they've got it loaded, and no one, they changed it, didn't they? No one's got 2 throw crushing blows. Is that a thing? They got rid of
Yeah,
that.
they have. So, some of them still got 2. You just can't use 2.
Yeah.
So it's still a 50-50.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you know you've teched wrong once, you could just take the throw then and not risk getting crushing blowed from it. That's much better than teching wrong once and then next time, bang, 30%.
I think it's unfair mechanical. That's what I believe.
Does Shang Tsung have any crushing blows on his throws? He's got one, isn't he?
Yeah, it's weird. It's not a very good one.
I would prefer other requirements. Anyway,
interesting question there from in the chat.
Have easy requirements. Easy. Some of them are good requirements. I mean, they make sense. Some other don't make sense, in my opinion. I mean, why would Sub-Zeros specifically Yeah. He slides, okay. He slides again. And he gets rewarded for 31%. Because
I admit that one is a little bit too easy. And this is from someone who uses Sub-Zero a lot.
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand it.
Are we hating on the Sub-Zero requirement yet?
I think the only
It's the same
requirement
as
should
loose
be
bicycle
if it's on a
kick.
punish. If it's on a punish, then it should be a crushing blow.
So what, the actual just a raw slide, or if the combo was a punish, then you can combo into it and get a crushing blow? Because that's a bit cheap.
I want
to say raw slide just for a laugh.
Yeah. So if you punish a projectile, or something, say you slide under a projectile, that should crushing blow because you made the read and slid under the projectile.
Yeah, if they're still recovering, yeah.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
if it's obviously punish as a projectile.
Let me bring one thing to your attention, chaps, is that if Sub-Zero was granted a crushing blow on his slide, if he managed to use it as a counter, say going under a projectile or just perhaps catching you, I don't know, throwing out a jab or something like that, because you weren't expecting it, then that would make you a real prodigy of a sub player.
It would, you know.
I see what
Bulk,
you did there,
think
Bulk.
you're right. Yeah. It's just so sly. Oh man, you're gonna get hate
I'll
mail
tell
for
you
that.
though, I'm conflicted over it. I'm massively conflicted over the idea of doing that. Right, go on.
I mean, doing that kind of play style is so evil. You might even be compared to Darth Vader at times.
Oh my goodness, it would be. But then Darth Vader was actually a good guy.
Yes, in the same way that Shang isn't top one. Okay, Bulk.
Did you see Heracles' face get triggered then?
Yeah. Heracles is like, what are you saying?
I like the neutral in the game when it exists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When. But the problem is NRS has made some abilities that they bypass it. They don't. Some characters don't have to play neutral.
They're very F neutral, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
With so many
That's what he's
teleports,
getting
okay, I
at.
understand Scorpion is a legacy move, okay. But you have to give half the roster teleports or the upgraded thing, jump over
Yeah.
you. I mean, it's so nice to see a game, to play it especially, when you can see back and forward spacing, try to keep them away, but at the same time counter attack. That is nice to see such a game. But it's not nice, in my opinion, to see a game that it's MKX light, let's say. I mean, what is Jackie doing? Instead of running and mixing you,
before she was jumping around, before she was jumping, getting in for free, having unlimited pressure and being able to escape for free, she was cancelling meterlessly with unstoppable pressure. So come on, what is Jackie?
but Jackie and
she's the MK mascot now.
okay, they say it's the most balanced game. Okay, probably it's true. Okay, but
Look at the other games.
okay, Shao Kahn. Okay, is there anyone in the world right now in NRS that thinks that Shao Kahn and Jackie are even close? I mean,
I'm sure there's someone out there, but they probably don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, I mean, there is still some balancing issues in the game.
I think they're closer than MKX's top one and MKX's bottom one.
Yes, because in MKX, Dragon's Fire Liu Kang versus Sun God Kotal Khan was an unwinnable matchup.
No. Maybe Lackey Ferritor. versus
Grandmaster-
Dragonfly Liu Kang.
Grandmaster Sub-Zero versus Smoke
Panda.
Triborg was an unwinnable matchup in my experience, I'll tell you. Oh god, there's actually video evidence of it being unwinnable many times.
I used to body some dudes Smoke all the time with my Kotal Khan back in the day.
You used to, till I picked Sector.
Yeah, he used to body your Smoke until you stopped using Smoke against him.
Shao versus Jackie is a 5-5, says Daddy Sadiq, with his very pink sunglasses on right there.
I also like the way Danny says, Kotal parry was busted, Bulk, and you know it, as if it still isn't.
It was a lot worse in
Kotal parry
MKX, to
was
be fair. It
better
recovered
back in
almost
the day.
instantly in MKX.
Yeah, Kotal parry was really good. But again, it's not the sort of thing that you could do on reaction. It had to be a read.
Whereas now, you can.
Yeah, Kotal Khan play now, you can just put it out there and just hold it, and something might run into it. That's what I don't like what they've done with the parry. And when I went back to playing a bit of I played a bit of MKX back when we did a stream, and I was just, oh my god, I've got to time this. I've only got 6 frames to time it. So yeah,
it's not even much of a parry in MK11, is it? It's more just an invisible force field that they hit and stop, and then you're like, and now I have all these frames to play with.
Yes, this is true. But also with the MKX parry was way stronger, much stronger than the MK11 parry, because you could 6-frame parry interrupts multiple moves in a string. You could do all of Goro's punch walk. Parrying all of Goro's punch walk gave you a big buff, and he was punishable on the end of it. So
yeah, that sounds pretty powerful.
Wake Up Goro punch walk was one of the Goro staples. So you just like Wake Up Sub-Zero slide or Cyber Sub-Zero slide was one of the things they did. And all those things required you to predict it, time it, and do it on time. And be within a 6-frame window or a 4-frame window. I can't remember what the active frames on parry were. I think the active frames on parry were.
Oh, here he goes again with his just frames.
I was going to say, you sure it wasn't a 1-frame link?
It was. I think whenever I did it, it was a 1-frame link, obviously. But it was a big risk and it was a big reward, but it rewarded you for your reads in the same way as like a big crushing blow does now. It rewards you in that way. So it gave you a warm fuzzy, if you know what I mean, a warm fuzzy feeling deep inside. Speaking of deep inside, going back to your answer, Heracles, have you finished? There's a lot of. Anything else you don't like about the game? I mean, did you like the box that it came in? Did you?
You like
the box
this?
art's actually quite weak.
This is almost in the game, but not quite.
What I'm going to say again, sorry that I speak again for that. Mashing should not be rewarded for such a huge damage.
Yes, absolutely.
Agreed.
The level of mash that is allowed to happen in MK11 is just I don't like it. And wake up buttons gets you a 30% combo with characters that can do it. Other characters don't have access to really good wake up buttons because they just get mashed on. I'm thinking Kotal Khan's one of them. Just throwing it out there. I'm going to ask Panda with Kotal, how often does he wake up button?
I don't.
You can't. You totally can't. Basically,
his buttons are too slow. Not the start up. It's the you look at Sub-Zero's wake up 1-2. It's like bang. You do that with Kotal. It's like bang. Bang! It's like the second hit's so slow, you're going to get interrupted. And
everything's a haymaker with Kotal Khan, isn't it? Everything takes a wind up.
I mean, it's only an 8-frame startup, but you mistime that first hit, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. You're going to spend like 75 frames before his other fist swings forward.
Yes, indeed. Harps, what things don't you like in MK11? If there's anything
mechanic
else after we say
and the fact that my win ratio is worse than it is was on MKX. That upsets me. But that might be it. There's not much I genuinely dislike about MK11. It's such a good. It's so. I've always been conflicted because MKX is my favorite fighting game. I think MKX is my favorite. It's easily my favorite fighting game in terms of how much I enjoyed playing it. Because MK11's good. I feel like it's better. I feel like I get better at understanding how fighting games work with MK11 compared to MKX. Because MKX just feels like everything's mad, and MK11 almost feels like there's a little bit of order, like there's a way things happen in fighting games, and MK11 tries to adhere to that a little bit. Whereas MKX was just throw stuff out and see if it works, or at least it works for me. So I think MK11 is technically a better fighting game. I preferred MKX, but I don't think there's really much I legit don't like about MK11. Like things that are, no, I found one. I just remembered. I found one. Okay. And it is vital that they change this because it is unbelievable how annoying it is. The menus after you finish a fight on Kombat League or I guess online just in general. So, so what used to happen back in the day was you'd have find next opponent, whatever the middle one was, and then quit back to. No, there was
friendly rematch.
It was just 2 in MKX, wasn't it? In MKX, it was just next opponent or main menu.
In MK11, what was the menu like? There's 3 of them. There's find next
friendly
opponent.
Rematch.
Friendly rematch. That was it. Yeah. They added the friendly rematch, but you can't just go, okay, now that match is over, I'm going to go down and press X because I want to go back to the menu or whatever. You press down and then X to select that. But if they've done the same, slightly a couple of frames before you, if they got the just inputs on the down and 1 menu select, then it resets the menu and then you're back at the top again. Then you got to press it again and it undoes what you did. And if there's something that annoys me, it's telling a computer to do something and the computer just goes, no.
If they're out of
that's
there,
annoying.
Yes. I know. What
and
you
after every single fight, I'm like, how? Because it wasn't like that when MK11 first came out. It was only like, I think when they added Aftermath and they added the friendly match option that this started to happen. And I was like, how do you make something as simple as a menu
so complicated,
so annoying? It's not that it's complicated.
Why does it take so long to come up as well? If you've just lost a match and you're a bit salty, you're like, get out of this match. And it's like, it sits there for ages showing you all your little gear bits that you've got.
It goes, here's some garbage coins that became actually pointless 6 months after the game's release. Yes. And here's some souls, and here's some hearts. And wait for it, here's some more souls. And it's like, no, I just want to kill the next person. That
At least in MKX, you could see when people were annoyed because you'd hear them mashing X.
Yes, I love that.
You don't even get the satisfaction of that in this game.
No, it's just like... It's worse because it's the opposite, because sometimes you'll be hitting X trying to get the menu to come up quicker and you'll stop pressing it just as the menu starts to fade in, and then you've accidentally selected rematch or something like that and you're like, I didn't want that. that
rage-inducing menus, let's get rid of them.
I hate that. If they didn't have it in MKX and they put it in MK11.
If they bring back any feature any feature is that you can hear the opponent mashing quit. If there's any feature they bring back, it's from MKX to hear them go to hear them do that and to know what it means.
I forgot about that. Oh man,
Panda, you nailed it, bro. You nailed it. That was that's absolutely true. Okay, so there's a lot of things about the game that I don't necessarily like. I would refer Harps back to the last match he did yesterday on stream, where the other player wasn't very good and walked away with the victory because they never blocked and broke away at inopportune moments and woke up down 2, woke up buttons, woke up jump, and did everything possible to be as squubby as they could. And I remember I was pounding my stick with the phone next to me, listening to the harps, hearing it go south, having a look and seeing what was going on and going, oh, we've got to talk about this tomorrow. And then And,
being beaten by people who you know are worse than you.
Yes, and that's Dragon, the professional player for America. He put a tweet out a few days ago about how in other games he feels confident about beating people of a lower skill level than he is, and in MK11 he's scared of going up against those people of a lower skill level because the game has these squabbly mechanics in there built into the game that help the lower level player. Now, I don't know if I'm particularly scared about facing those sort. I don't think his words were he was scared, but he doesn't enjoy it going up against those sorts of people. I know I don't enjoy going up against those sorts of people.
I don't.
Panda hates
I would much rather play a top-level player than a mid-level player that thinks they're a top-level player that just mashes and plays like a lunatic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because a top-level player does
things you expect them to do. Yeah, exactly. Whereas the mid-level just switches his brain off and just YOLO slides or forward 2 slides.
Yeah, what did I do the other when I was playing last month, because I haven't played MK11. For those who don't know, I haven't played MK11 this year. So the Corona stopped me from playing MK11.
It's only been 12 days.
Yeah. I meant the whole of last year as well. So I did a Combat League season a couple of months in 2020. And in that season, I've run into Foxy Grandpa, and we hit friendly rematch, and we did 13 games, and they were brilliant. Because he wasn't playing like a troll, he was playing properly. And it was a real. It was one of those moments when you know you can't beat this person because they're above your pay grade, but it's a privilege to be around. You get to witness some really good stuff in action. The spacing, the space control, all of that stuff. And then I've reflected on the rest of the month that I had. And I got to the end of the month. I got my god rank as I knew I would, but I didn't feel great about it. I just was like, oh, thank God I don't have to do that again. And I didn't have to grind it on the last day. Did I have to grind it on the last day? I can't remember. I can't remember if I did. I think it was like 2 days before I got it, or 1 day before. But whatever it may be, it was properly, Whitney, properly. It was the things that I don't necessarily really enjoy about the game are so, as Panda said, the first thing he said, they're so minor to fix. But like Harp said, he really enjoys the idea of combat mechanics. I'm the opposite camp. I don't like the idea of combat mechanics. I don't like the idea of armor. When I came back to playing fighting games after a bit of a hiatus of 2 decades, I was like, you get armor? That's a thing? Oh, okay. What's all that meter at the bottom for? You can have a super, and
this
that's
does
got
explain
armor?
why you didn't like using rage arts in Tekken.
Well, yeah.
You just don't use them.
It's the same mechanic. It's a combat mechanic.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the combat mechanic in Tekken is, you could say, is worse than a fatal blow, but in the same way, it's also better. Because even though you can get it potentially 5 times a match, yes, you can get it 5 times a match without fail if you're that bad. It goes away once you use it. But it also, if you don't use it, gives you a damage buff, which is, I think, it's a great trade-off. I think the way that they've done it in Tekken is, I hate it, and I like it, and I hate it.
Wait. So if you've got a rage art available, but you don't use it,
yes,
Yeah,
you're stronger.
it buffs you.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you not know that?
Did you not know that?
Nope. This is news to me.
That's probably because every time you get one, you just rage out instantly.
Why wouldn't I? Now I know why. I never knew that. I knew Paul could shoot a gun, but I didn't know that. Oh god. So well, we're all here to learn.
If you're on a pixel and you do a Half-Life combo, that combo's now doing closer to like 75%, 80%.
I think I seem to remember someone said that the lower your health is when you do the rage art, the more powerful the rage art is.
But it
But that's
applies
not the
to
same thing.
everything you do. It applies to everything you do. You get a cheap counter hit into a guaranteed floor or follow-up. Like, let's say you get a counter hit, they get on the floor, and in that situation, your character can do like a back four or whatever it is, and hit them on the ground. It's guaranteed. That would have done like 50 damage before. When you've got like a pixel, that will do like 80 damage. It will do it will do a massive chunk. Huge chunk.
This changes everything. This changes absolutely everything. Oh god.
Carlos is like,
Carlos saying, "Don't worry, I didn't have a clue about the skulls and shields until the start of Evo for MK11."
Carlos took 6 months to know what the skulls and shields was.
I think I saw them in the beta, and I said, "Panda, what's that?" And you were like, "I think if you press X at the right time, it does more damage."
Yeah,
but
then
good enough.
But then
that was carried over from Injustice, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Again, it was something else that was carried over from Injustice, along with the costume changes and.
I didn't know it was in Injustice.
Yes, it was in Injustice.
But then again, I only played it for 6 months, and then I wiped it from my memory. So maybe I did know it.
Oh god! Before I die, what was the question? I've forgotten the question.
The question was, what mechanics would you like to see changed?
Okay, the thing what Panda said was right. There's some things about the game that are deeply frustrating and annoying, but they're not mechanics. They're just like, certain characters can get away with doing wake up buttons and others can't. Their strike throw mix up is oppressive, and others isn't. They have a 9-frame mid, and your character doesn't. Those sorts of things are they are not mechanics, but mechanics that I would like to not see in the game. I don't really have any. I don't think, apart from Fatal Blow. I think Fatal Blow.
Command grabs.
It's not a mechanic, bruh. Zangief, you can't do a spinning pile driver anymore. No one wants mid-command grabs.
I mean, it's okay in Tekken, like when I'm king and I'm doing all my crazy throws and stuff, because you can tech those. You can break out of them. They're not unblockable and unstoppable.
Yes, I mean, I respect king players a lot more now that I've had a bit of a chill about my mindset. Because there was a point when I was like, you're going to beat me because you know a multi-throw. But then, how is that different from a combo? Yeah,
exactly.
You still have to combo it. You still have to do it. And they can break at any point, and they can break by guesswork. The person being tossed can break by mashing. Or
they can be told by whoever's hosting the stream that it's a 2-break and then just get out.
You're trying to go for that rolling death cradle.
Funniest moment ever that was.
That's like the greatest move to land, and Bulk was like, "By the way, it's a 2-break," and I was like,
press
"No, I don't know how to do the other one because I only learned rolling death cradle because I only played the computer and they don't break."
Another. I mean, there's certain situations where you just mash a particular button. Pull ultimate tackle, always mash 1. That sort of thing, because his most damaging option comes from 1.
Sorry, I just want to answer this question from Danny. He said, "Did you learn any other chain grabs as a result, perhaps? As a result of you telling people to no, I just stopped using King."
He just dropped the whole character.
It doesn't work against
just
these
going
guys,
back
so I
to
stopped
just going back to the education of harps. Rage buffs grabs of all kinds. If you learned King and you're on low health and you do a chain grab, you kill him.
I could do that with rolling death cradle with full health. It takes like 70% of their health bar.
But you can literally do a touch of death rolling death cradle if you're on a pixel.
That would be brave.
King's back out of the bin.
Yeah, that's right, back out of the bin.
He picks it back up again and then still just YOLO rage arts.
I think of all mechanics...
I've got the rage art, I don't want to lose it.
I think of mechanics that I don't get on with. I think it's probably throw crushing blow. I would remove throw crushing blow. Or just change throws. Maybe if throws did 9%. Not 14 or 13, because they just took a percent off, didn't they? It's like giving extra like a certain character an extra 100 health. It's only 10%. You know, it's barely here or there.
Or it's like someone saying, do a jump in 2 instead of a jump in 1 because it does the extra 2% damage. And I'm like, it's only 2%. And it is a lot easier for me to do it the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kotal's health does need a nerf.
I thought I'd get away with that one. No, I think if throws generally were less threatening because they did less damage, then it would mean that having a 30% crushing blow was kind of worth it. But if you don't get the crushing blow throw, you just do 2 throws. It's basically there. What's the difference between getting tossed twice and eating most of a combo? Many combos you get to break around about the 26% mark anyway. Or if you're going to do an early down 2 to catch their breakaway, which you don't break, well then that's about the same damage, isn't it? So yeah, about 26, 28%, something like that is half a combo for most people, or nearly finished combo. And if you eat 2 throws, it's the same.
I think 30% is a bit much for a throw, crush, and blow. And I've long been one of those people that's like, no, don't reduce the damage on throw, crushing blows, because then why bother having crushing blows? Like I've heard people say they should halve the damage. It should do 15%, and I'm like, doesn't it already do?
The throw already does 40.
It's 14%. But yeah, I mean, 30%. Almost a third of the health bar because they guessed wrong on a tech. Possibly
That's
twice.
That's why it shouldn't be the damage. It should just be that you need to tech wrong twice because it gives you the option to just take the throw and not bother teching the second time. That's what they need to change, in my opinion.
But if you just
take how it was in the beta.
If you just take the throw, then you would never. Then you'd never see throw crushing bros. Throw crushing bros? Throw crushing blows, right?
No, because you would still have people still trying to tech them, and it would open up another 50-50, where if you've got someone, a bit like Spawn's crushing blow, you throw them out of the corner with it, it would be the same thing. You just choose to, say you're facing the corner, you choose to throw them out of the corner because you know they're going to tech.
Yeah, but in the beta...
What would be the ideal way to tech, and then you get the crushing blow still, right?
Yeah, but in the beta, you could still tech the final throw that would lead to a crushing blow. So you could still do that. Yeah,
you could still tech it, but you had the option to just take the throw if you had the health to not risk triggering the crushing blow.
If I'm playing against a Kung Lao, I'm blocking. It's as simple as that, because I don't want to load up their crushing blow and make their offense even scarier.
I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. You could just take the throw constantly anyway, but...
The Wailing Man says remove grabs entirely. Ban him.
That is because the current state of the game is and what they set out to do, the simplification of MK11, is you're down to a strike throw game from day one anyway. If you removed this, that, and the other, what do you have? You don't have a game. I don't like the strike throw meta. Well, that's the entire game, bro. Okay, well, what can you do instead? Well, I guess you could toss some fireballs. Well, that's a bit cheap, isn't it?
Projectiles? What is this? Injustice 2?
Exactly.
Remember when people used to say that all the time?
It's not Call of Duty. I don't want to play this with a mouse. So.
Oh, they want QWOP, but a fighting game of QWOP. That's what they want.
Okay, well, maybe we could just make maybe we could have everyone. Oh, I don't know. Like super unsafe. Well, then you'll end up with Samurai Showdown, and that's a bad game. Where people like it, but it's just a really bad netcode. But you know what I mean. If you've already boiled down the fighting game to its already most constituent parts, where do you go? What can you possibly do? You have to add stuff.
Let's just go back to a run button and 50-50s. Let's just all go play MKX again.
That's what it'll be.
Let's play SmackDown versus Raw.
That game was godlike.
Yeah, you just press L2 to reverse what they're doing, and there was no limit to how many times you could do it, and the window to do it was really big, so it would just be reversal, and then a reverse of that reversal, and then a reverse of that reversal.
I think
it was a legit problem in that game.
I think you're absolutely right. What you'd end up with is a wrestling game.
Yeah,
the strike
that's
throw.
basically what it is.
Say something about the strike throw thing. against some characters, it's not so annoying. It feels okay, normal life. But there are some characters that, by their nature, they are always in front of you. Kung Lao, for example. This is annoying. And there is no just take the grabs, bro. There is no. I've tried many times. I've tried to do it. Just take the grabs. I die from the grabs, just like that. So there are other characters though that like Samsung. Okay, you
I smell downplay.
It doesn't get pressure after that. He gets you full screen almost, okay. He gets his game going. But what I mean is that there are some characters that are very annoying in that area. Either, for example, when you're playing against Cetrion, let's say, or who else? Let's say Sub-Zero or Scorpion. It's not that the throws are so annoying, but when you play someone that is every time in your face, all the time in your face, probably massing also.
Jackie?
That's annoying to have someone that all the time mixes you with strike or throw. Down 3, 1-2 or throw. 1-2 or throw. 1-2 or throw. This is annoying. But that's my opinion.
What I also see in that is that that's not exactly high-level gameplay, is it? Stagger throw is not the highest form of playing a fighting game.
No.
Even like stagger backdash whiff punish, that's not the highest form of playing a fighting game. That's like bare. That's how you play fighting games. Spacing, pressure, whiff punishing, poking, the whiff punishing, poking, rush down triangle. You know, those sorts of things. It's the things that really can trigger you and me in MK11 are the really basic things that if you guess right, you're relieved. But they're not. It's not like 9,000 IQ. If you know what I mean. You don't need 12th level intellect to use an NRS terminology to. I didn't press block and they threw me. Now I get to do a down 2 crushing blow. It's not the biggest brain read, if you know what I mean. And that's, I think that it fuels a lot of the frustration is that we know it's so damn simple to have defended against, and we can end up losing to it. And I think that's what I feel. That's probably the frustration amongst many of the broader community. Okay, the pros have their own view. They have been a bit more vocal about it on Twitter and YouTube and whatever recently. But the professional player occupies a percentage of the market which is incredibly tiny. How many people enter? How many people entered Evo, which was the biggest Mortal Kombat NRS tournament ever held? How many people were there? I think it was 1,700, or it was fewer than 2,000. I'm pretty sure. Anyone remember from 2019?
I think they were more than any other game. I think any other NRS game.
Title. I think it was about 1,200. Maybe someone in the chat will remember better, but I think it was about 1,200. Let's even call it 2,000. That's 2,000 people, and let's say all the people that could have attended all of the professional top level players who could have attended but didn't because they happened to reside in a different country. Like, say, some of the people that we know, like Panda, Danny, Harps, Iroquois, whatever. You know, these top people. Not so much Iroquois, he's got top tier character. But let's say all these people got the plane ticket and went off to America. So instead of, say, 2,000, there was 5,000 people from around the world who are considered professional. Maybe, let's call it 10,000 people. 10,000 people that are considered at the very top level. How many copies of the game have been sold?
Well, that's like pushing 10 million, isn't it? Is it something like that? Like 8 million?
This is one of the arguments that you keep hearing, is that people complain that fighting games cater too much to the casuals, and then the argument is, well, the casuals
They make
make
like
up the bulk of the play.
99.5%.
My point is that this podcast right now is more representative of the target audience than a podcast with professional players. And although their opinions are incredibly weighty, you know, if Sonic Fox and whatever did a bit of podcast tomorrow, I would watch it because I would want to know what their thoughts are. But our thoughts here are supremely valid because we account for over 99% of the player base.
Yeah, with the 99% of the player. But yeah, exactly.
With the bottom 99%.
Yes, 99% are proud.
Yes, that's right. The bottom 99%. And if the game is catered, and we are all feeling that, I don't know about Panda, because Panda is enjoying the game at the moment. I don't want to take that away from him or put a rain cloud on his baseball cap.
Oh no, yeah, I love this game.
Exactly, and look, I love the game too. I really like MK11 when I'm not playing Kombat League.
Combat League's a whole different demon, though, isn't it?
You just never played Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, if you haven't played Kombat League, you don't know pain. No, the things that really turn you off about the game, we feel, are things that are put into the game to help the lower level player. But then, you know, that's like the bottom 4.5 million people that are meant to be below us. Is that what we're saying? But
yeah, like could you imagine if they made a game and every character in it was like Brian, you know, top tier execution? People would pick it up and go, "This game's too hard," and then put it down, because most people don't like. If you want to get good at a fighting game, with most games, all you got to do is just play them and you'll get better. Like Call of Duty, I love Call of Duty. I'm not slagging it off, but just playing it will make you better at it. You don't have to work specifically at getting better at it. You can, I guess, but just playing it, you'll get better at it. And same with like GTA or Skyrim and stuff like that, if there is such a thing as getting good at Skyrim. But with fighting games, you've got to put work in. You've got to put the effort in. And a lot of people, understandably, don't want to do that. So if they make a game that did cater to the top-level players, it straight up just wouldn't sell enough. Which is why they've got to cater to the scrubs. Yeah, but because if they didn't, we wouldn't have a game.
But the top-level players are not going to pick the hardest execution characters. That's the irony. Look at who do top players use in Mortal Kombat? Let's just use the game that we're talking about as an
Dragon
example.
uses Cetrion.
Yeah, it's quite top heavy. Sonic Fox uses Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Killer uses Liu Kang.
Yeah,
that's the top three players. The three top three characters.
Yeah, exactly. Now go back to.
But Shang wasn't there.
If you look at, that's true. If you look at top 8s historically over the last couple of years. When we first started tournaments, it was the Gearus show. Everyone played Gearus.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it turned into Aaron. I want to say
it was
Jackie.
The Liu Kang show.
Yeah, before Jackie came. Jackie was popular from day one, but just Gearus was an overall better package, covered everything else. I'll go back to what Destiny said. One Destiny, hello there, said in the chat. He doesn't like Kombat League because that's where he meets Bulk.
You're not going to find Bulk in the Kombat League.
No, I did last season. I bumped into him twice on around God rank.
Jeebus.
They're not the high. Gearus is not difficult to use. He's not a difficult character to pilot, especially in day one ranked variations. I can't remember what Eternal Gearus, was that the one?
Yeah, there's New Era, or as the Americans call it, New Era.
New Era Gearus.
Warden,
Yeah.
Infinite Warden and New Era.
Infinite Warden,
yeah.
thank you. Infinite Warden Gearus is not a difficult character to pick up. I remember when they patched out the Crushing Blow on Sandtrap and said it doesn't work on a punish, it only works, what was it? After you miss it
You've got to
twice.
whiff too, I
You
think.
whiff it twice. Yeah.
And then his other Crushing Blow was it doesn't work on a counter, it only works when you're in the corner. As soon as I saw that, I had some time in the afternoon. I thought, I'll try this out. 15 minutes
That turned
later.
into a buff.
Yeah, exactly. 15 minutes later, I
They accidentally buffed him.
I
As Danny
messaged
Steve said,
Iraclease and
nerfed him to
Panda
top
and
one.
said, look at this rubbish. And then I messaged the community group chat on PlayStation Network and said, I just did 38%. I don't know what I'm doing. You know? Yeah, so, yeah. Nice one. Good nerf, guys.
Yeah.
Good nerf.
I remember the game was so Gearus weighted. People started calling him Ferris, just out of irony, because it was just so unfair if you picked him. I think that might have been a Foxy Grandpa thing.
I think it was Foxy Grandpa, yeah.
Calling him Ferris.
Don't bash my pronunciations. All right, New Era Gearus coming in. Oh, Gerus. If we're going to bash pronunciations, Gerus.
It would be New Era. No, you're right. Yeah. New Era. I'm trying to correct you, and I'm correcting you wrongly.
No, Whitney in the chat saying don't bash my pronunciations, being our resident Yank is.
Don't bash the pronunciation.
Yes. Right. So I think I don't know how much more I want to cover on this subject. I don't want to be down on the game. I like the game. I just don't think it's in the best state. But if you changed it,
It's in a good state. It's not by any means in a bad state, in my opinion.
it
could use improvements.
Here's my problem. If NRS made the improvements, and let's just say that we are representative of that middle 98%. You've got the 1% squubs at the bottom, and you've got the 1% elite at the top, and we're in the middle 98%. Let's say we're representative of that, and everyone hates Combat League because of the mash and all of that stuff. And the hitboxes and hurtboxes and whatever. Let's say we are, and we're right, and they fix everything. And they make low pokes plus 27 on hit, and make it easy to jail highs, and they do something about throws, and make sure that throw priority isn't over everything. So if you think they're going to throw you, so I'm going to quickly poke them in the feet, you don't get thrown out of it, or whatever. If they fix all of these issues, and they take away wake up buttons and wake up jump and make that punishable, the game will tank, because people will be like, this doesn't work anymore. What I was doing doesn't work anymore. I don't want to learn anything new. I'll just go to a different game.
I'll just get a Tekken where all I've got to do is just mash the buttons with my palm and something will happen.
Yes, it's easier to mash in Tekken because you can just literally do this. And I'm sure many people do. I'm sure.
Oh, look, I've done a super combo. Awesome. Rage art, they call it.
Bulk Jr. and Bulk Jr. Jr. were playing Street Fighter 5 today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, they'll learn. And they were using the joypad because it was the easiest thing to use. And what they discovered is if you hit all 4 shoulder buttons, stuff happens. And I said to them, no, it's just like, you don't have to hit all 4 shoulder buttons. You either press like heavy punch, heavy kick together, or all 3 punches together, or all 3 kicks together. And they were like, okay. And they were just mashing all 4 shoulder buttons.
You should have seen me when I was playing Street Fighter 4. Right? I didn't know anything about frame data, no footsies, but none of that. I was a super scrub, right? And this was how I thought. I was like, well, I'm playing as Akuma. I've got this heavy punch button that does like a powerful attack. Why would I ever do the light or medium punch if the heavy one does more damage? I was like, why would I ever use them? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then I realized, because fighting games, you have to learn them. Oh, right, okay.
There's subtlety, there's nuance. Not everything's the same. But
yeah,
exactly. But yeah, if the things that we don't like were changed, then you'd have such a different game that didn't reward people for wake up jump, wake up random, wake up YOLO. Yeah, if it didn't reward them for that, we wouldn't have half the player base that we have now.
But I think wait till like the last year of the game and then change that and let them people leave, because most of them would be gone by then anyway. And just the only people still left playing them will be the hardcore players that want those changes.
That will, when MK12 comes around, complain that it doesn't feel like MKX. And they'll change whatever good stuff they were going to do in MKX to become MK12 to become Rushdown Mix. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah, like what happened with the beta.
Yes, exactly. We I think universally people loved the beta for different reasons, but we loved the beta because it was like, oh my god, this is an actual game.
Oh my god, there's fundamentals and neutral and
yes, there's an actual game here, and I even wrote somewhere that I believe MK11 has the potential to be the best meter-based 2D fighting game ever made. I wrote that. Having finished the month of the beta period. I think it was a month or a bit, wasn't it? I think it was about a month.
I remember you saying that.
Yes, that was, and I wrote it publicly, and I wrote it in comments on YouTube videos and whatever. I proclaimed it, and
proudly.
I have to eat it because I said that, but I've been disappointed. It's not the same product because, as Panda says, the MKX people came in and said, this doesn't feel like MKX, give me my mix back, give me my Rushdown. And
I was like that before I even played it. I was like, what, they took the run away? No, I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, but that's the issue. Like, a lot of people, there was a lot of people like that put a bit of pressure on them, and it all sort of changed. When the game released, it was different. The movement was, look at immediately they changed the dash speed.
The speed went way up when the game came out.
Yes.
And then Rain came out, and he's like, running's back, baby.
You want a slow game?
That's how it's gradually increased with every. Like Fujin came out, and he's dashing all over the place, and then Rain came out. I was like, watch this Fujin. He does it twice as fast as Fujin does. And it's like,
oh yeah. So Rain comes out, and he goes, "Huh, cute." He's gone.
But to be fair, Rain makes up for it by having some seriously stubby moves.
He has got some issues.
Back 2 is one of his best punish moves, apparently. But if they're further away than that, it's not going to get him.
So it's kind of annoying. Away than a gnat's whisker, then
yeah. If there's the gerbil's toenail is longer than Rain's.
I like that gerbil's toenail. Yeah.
If someone does a move on him, and there is any pushback whatsoever, you ain't punishing with back 2.
If they're not
right now, Takamis is like, here's all the examples of why you're wrong.
If they're not literally pressing your codpiece. Now, I would also suggest that Rain has got safety issues that other characters don't. He's got duckable highs. He's got like strings with duckable highs. He's got grab strings that are -17. He's got
a lot of his strings are safe, though. I noticed a lot of them.
He's got some safe stuff, but they don't lead to anything, do they? I mean, maybe they're hit confirmable combo strings. But Rain has got those issues where I think he's got more safety issues than other characters. I think he has to take a few more risks when he does get in general. That being said, Hydro Boost needs some serious adjustment.
Maybe if I used Hydro Boost, I'd change my mind.
Yeah, because that's safe or
you
plus.
Just flawless block the jump in. It's got a big window like Jackie's has.
Yeah,
I know that sounds like a high level.
Just don't let them hit you.
But no, but it's an easy flawless block off the jumping on that because it's a 6-frame window now instead of a 3-frame like Jackie's Leap.
Did it get massaged?
Quite a high level answer to a low level strat, but that's MK11 at the end of the day. There's low level strats that take high execution to defend against.
Okay, y'all Joe Thibodeau, how you doing? Good to see you there. Y'all take note of Panda there because he came up a couple of months, I think it was a good 6 months ago, and it came more prevalent recently, where he says MK11 forces you to use high-level strats to low-level garbage. I'm paraphrasing, but
I think that's probably what they want, isn't it? They want being able to do stuff needs to be accessible enough so that the casuals can play it and have fun. But there's enough depth up there for the high-level players to deal with that should they want to, and not feel like this is abusable.
I think the example was Kano's post headbutt pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
forward 1-2-1.
So for those in the chat who don't know, the notation is forward 1-2-1.
Forward 1-2 back 2. Forward 1-2 back 2.
Forward 1-2 back 2. And he
How
he
would
does the
Panda
spit.
know that?
He does the spit and the headbutt. So the move we're referring to is he spits like a real gentleman, and then he headbutts you like a proper idiot. And what he does is he's plus in this situation. It's definitely his turn. He gets to do the next move. If you jump or try and do anything, he's going to nail you. And the options are he can grab you, which turns into which is about 18%, I think. His command grab is 18%.
He's also got a two-way throw crushing blow, so he could just normal throw you.
Yeah, he could throw two-way. He could throw you one way, throw you the other. He could also do a knife shank into an acid, or he could just do some buttons in your face. Okay, so he's got a lot of options there, and the way to counter it is you must do a very quick fuzzy block in that time, and the window is 3 frames. I believe the window is 3 frames between.
Yeah, it's not what target. You can just flawless block the down one, but if he's got command grab, then you're going to get command grabbed if you try and do that. So you need to take the down one and then flawless block the follow up.
Yes.
Wait, command grabs are causing issues?
It's not just the command grab, though. It's the fact that he can do another forward one again.
Yeah,
you have to quickly
down one command
neutral
grab.
duck. Like Bolt said, it's a neutral duck into a block, because if they down one, it's going to hit you, and then the command grab will whiff. Mm-hmm. If they do down one acid, it will hit you, and you'll flawless spot the acid. It's really high level, basically. So you've got a.
So it's saying that the window is about 6 frames.
Windows.
Okay, so it's
6 windows,
right.
6 frame window.
Yeah. So 6 frames. I mean, that's a 6 frame window is not long. It's a tenth of a second.
You can get the timing down, but basically the strat is you've got to do that stupid. You've got to jump through hoops, neutral duck, get hit, and then flawless spot the follow up.
And what if he doesn't do
any of that? And all he's got
that?
to do is press 3 buttons and then down one.
Exactly.
It's really easy and it's literally brain dead.
So
I was playing him recently against Heracles, and it's so brain dead. You can just rinse and repeat that stuff over and over again.
Look what it's done to Heracles.
He's got to then do, like I say, jump through hoops, the neutral duck, and then flawless block, and then reversal, and get out of it. And it shouldn't be that high level to deal with something that's so brain dead.
Yes, exactly. And he's got so many options after. He could just change his flowchart. So the offensive player, and MK11's in no way the only or worst offender in this respect.
Definitely not. I mean, it's just Kano was just the example that I thought of, because you can just abuse that.
No, I said MK11 the game, not just Kano. I mean, MK11 the game is not the worst offender or the only offender. There's so much oppressive mash in Tekken.
To be fair, what you say, a lot of it is a knowledge check in Tekken, but people do stuff to me, and because I don't know that I can sidestep certain strings or duck a high in a string. Like how many times did I complain to you about law because I didn't know that I could duck a high ender,
and I had to quickly.
I had to learn that whole matchup. Whereas all he's got to do is do and press 3 buttons. Whereas I got to jump through hoops again, but I know when I can duck and when I can sidestep and how to punish.
And so we'll give the viewers in the chat the benefit of this. So. Panda was having real trouble with Law, and I know Law, the character, from legacy knowledge, so I know that certain things you can duck, certain things you can sidestep, certain things you just block it out and then punish them, and I knew that already. And so I went into training mode and spent 5 minutes learning the button notations for all of the key moves that I knew that Panda was having trouble with. And after those 5 minutes, I said, "Come on, Panda, let's do it." And I won the first 3 matches with my 5-minute lore or something like that. It was and Panda had been playing his character for a couple of months at this point or whatever it was, and I was just spamming all of the things that I knew that you could defend against really easily, but obviously he wasn't. And it's all about non-jailing duckable highs. It's all about, really with lore, it's non-jailing duckable highs. That's the biggest thing. And you just launch them every time. But if you, as Panda said, if you don't know it, and you don't then apply it, then you're going to be, at the wrong end of a really gnarly stick, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Speaking of gnarly sticks, Heracles, you got anything to say about this matter?
What exactly?
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to the next question before... I'm also conscious of the fact that Heracles
what
has
exactly?
I can't remember what the original question was. I think it was, what was it you don't like
Are we
about
still talking about mechanics?
Yeah, we were talking about
Once upon a
mechanics.
time, the question was, what mechanics would you see changed?
Right, we've done that. Let's just
We've
cut
done it
that
to
off there
death.
and move on
Okay,
to the, unless
I think-
Heracles does
yeah.
want to answer.
We-
Because it was Heracles' answer and then we took over.
It was a great answer, Heracles.
Yeah, thanks, Heracles.
He basically said he doesn't like anything.
Yeah,
Except,
he did. He basically said he doesn't like anything.
So I
Flawless blocks. He likes flawless blocks and doesn't like anything any other
like
mechanics.
it's if we exclude some of a bunch of things, 2 or 3 things, like down to crashing blow, like the fact that massing works.
Oh yeah,
And-
last breath. That's a good idea.
It works online at least. If we exclude those things, I think it's a very good game.
Yeah, I agree.
But it requires some adjustment still in the balancing. I mean, as Panda said, okay, you have options against Kano. The thing is, you have to be as a defender, but when you defend yourself, you have to do way harder job, let's say, to defend yourself than the attacker.
Yeah, exactly. It's the all of the pressure
And,
is on the defender.
even if you don't end up with punish with a flawless block punish, it's, technically, if your character is slow, some kind of he's a bit slow, it's basically again his turn. If he's not enough minus to respect your mid or whatever your attack is, he can jump out and do the dive ball, let's say. It's things like that. There are some characters, but that's I think that's a me issue. It's not the game's issue. I can't stand characters that are always in your face.
We missed
Just like I don't like zoning characters. I mean, pure zoning characters.
Good question. That's a great question.
In zoning, in MK11, the zoning is not so oppressive as maybe other games. I don't. Maybe Injustice. It's not that bad. It's not that strong in MK11.
Quick show of
That's the
hands.
zoning.
Quick show of hands. How many of you guys like zoning? Put your hand up if you like zoning.
Wait, partially I like the fact
Kinda? I mean,
you can zone a bit, but not. I don't like to be a strategy that it will win a match on its own. That's
Okay, so when I was a kid, spamming fireballs was the absolute pinnacle of skill. Hadouken! Hadouken! Sonic Kaboom! Sonic, spamming fireballs was the absolute pinnacle. It was like, and my mate only played E Honda. And E Honda in Street Fighter 2 can't jump a fireball. Okay, he literally can't jump a fireball. And he used to beat me all the time. Actually, he was very, very good. And I played Guile mostly, and also Ryu. But spamming fireballs was like the absolute. It was the highlight of my weekend. was beating my best mate because he couldn't clear my fireball trap. I think as we get older, we appreciate, or get better at games, we really appreciate the benefit of not, of less zoning, if you know what I mean. Right, I'm gonna just mute my cam. You guys continue. Please do ask the next question if you do get around to it. Please.
Should we just get on to that now? What do
you
you
do
guys
that,
reckon? Next question?
Yeah, because hang on, let me see if I get the right one here. Yeah, oh, lucked out. All right, go for it.
Right, Hobbs, you had the list of questions, didn't you?
How did I do
Do you
that?
want to read the next one?
I've got to put that back again. No, fix it.
I got that right up.
Fix the format. Oh, Harps has disappeared. That's why. Where's Harps?
I'm up here now.
Yeah,
on top
it's
of
because
Heracles.
Harps's internet is being dodgy. Let me just because I have to.
Oh yeah, he's out of the call.
Yeah, he has to join in again, and I have to be able to admit him. I have to, because I'm in charge of the waiting room. I think we've got like 2 questions left, Tarks, is the answer to that question. How long will the podcast
And it's been
be?
2 hours 40 minutes for 2 questions. So about another 2.5 hours.
Yeah. We didn't expect it to be this long, if I'm honest. But I think we'll do the DLC question and then we're probably done. Where is he? We need him back, or you're going to end up with double bulk. Look at me. Hang on, I've got to message him. How could his internet... Did he not put 10p in the meter? Right. And I'll let you back in. Right. I'm going to put the "we'll be right back" screen while we're sorting out this. We'll be right back. Right. How long have you got left, Heracles, before you have to disappear? Because I know you've got to be up early.
Technically, I should be in my bed right now.
Okay. Do you need to push off? Do you need to disappear?
Yeah, I just have to go to sleep because I have a very early.
Right, I'm going to... Then you do that, because you've got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that is only in a few hours for you, isn't it? Yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, you do that. We'll just make sure that we arrange it when you've got more time next time. I didn't think it was going to take more than a couple of hours, if I'm honest. But it's taken very long. Taken very, very long. So you jump out, and I'll make apologies for you, okay? Right, you do that, pal. All right.
See you later.
See ya. Go. Get some sleep. Get some sleep.
Go sleep soon.
Yeah. Yeah, in the bottom, just say leave. There you go. Yeah, you know Heracles has to be up at 4, don't you? Which is you know Heracles has to be up at 4, which is in 3 hours for him. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, my mic was muted.
Oh, okay. Right, I've got to move the juniors, and I'll be right back. And hopefully by that point, Harps will be back in, and we can then just finish this off. Do one more.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to need to wrap up a bit soon.
Properly.
I think I'm keeping the. I think I've woke my daughter up on that, so it's might be a bit loud.
It's because you've got so heated over the topic.
Well, you've left the mic on, by the way. Everyone can hear you. You didn't put the sound on.
I did, didn't I? And we should be back.
I have a light over my face. What's happened there?
So where I've done, where I've done the display capture.
Was that your way of fixing it? Was it just to get two different cams and
what I did.
Try and line it up.
Okay. So what I did is I just took the two.
My face looks weird.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just. It's just a simple matter of. Hang on.
Just tilt that. Be in the bottom half.
I always like to be on the bottom half.
Chin looks well long.
Hang on. There. Oh, I'm a formatting legend. Look at that. Even my tie lines up now. There you go.
It's still not perfect, but we'll take it.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. All right. Anyway, there we go. Blaze, how you doing? Good to see you again. All right, apologies for not being there for the chat. I'm going to speak to Panda over the next few days and try and get... yours looks actually spot on. I think I nailed yours. Oh, apart from the photo in the background. Yeah, it's basically spot on. There's a little bit of drift there's a bit of continental drift to the left.
Oh.
Oh no!
You didn't. You can do it with the directional keys, didn't you?
I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, just trying to click and drag with your mouse.
Not ham fisting it with my touchpad. No. Okay. All right. So we've covered. We did Harp's Fall. No, his internet went out, and Heracles has to be up at 4 a.m. Which in Vietnam it's now 3:30. So he's it's pretty late for Heracles, I'm afraid. So he had to dip out, and Harps didn't put 10p in the meter for the internet, so his internet gave up. So isn't it 1:22 in Vietnam? Probably. I don't know, but it's late. The man's got to be up in 4. He's got to be up at 4 a.m. So he's got a super early start, and it's just not fair on him to ask him to keep around. The only question I can remember we had. Well, I think there's more questions on the roster, but it was something about guest DLC characters. Really quickly.
I wanted to hear Harps. What Harps' one was? He said he had a good one.
I really wanted to hear it. This is why I wanted to get him back in the chat. But what we'll do is we'll save it for next time. What I want to say is, Petulant Panda, thank you so much for being an absolute rock and legend.
It's all right, mate. Always, mate.
Your face being on camera has already tripled our attendance.
Even there's a weird slice through the middle of it, right there.
Iroquois might get more people pregnant while his face is on camera, even in deep shadow. But you raise our audience numbers no end. So I think we covered a lot of ground. There's a lot of things to discuss. We could go around in circles around a lot of the topics, but at the end of the day, we still enjoy the game. There's a lot of games to be played over the next year or so, and we'll do something different next time. I don't know. We might want to see an acted written version.
There's been a couple of little technical issues as well, but it's like you say, it's the first time we've done anything like this, and I think it's turned out quite well. To be fair, I think people have enjoyed it, and Destiny's right there where he says "Bring back smoke." Obviously.
I think we might do.
But I think it's turned out quite well.
Might do some Twitter polls and find out if viewers have got any questions that they'd like us to cover. Yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah, we can put them out on the on the team page.
They're just going to write back and say we want to see all of Iroquois' face and we want Pan to take his shirt off. That's all they're going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll say if you could blur out Harps and Bulk, that would be great. Okay, at least you've enjoyed it. Well, I hope, viewers, that you guys have enjoyed it. Panda, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to formerly Harps and Iroquois for their input and legendary status. You crazy kids, take it easy in there. Be careful at the maskless hugging parties. Whatever you do, always carry your PPE. If the bed falls through, I shall see you in the spring. GG's everybody, and ciao for now. Get to see another screen.